Pokémon, I became a Pikachu. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story in all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 151 Fierce Battle in Amazon. Boom, what? How is this possible? Yamato, who had been so confident, was truly shocked this time. She wasn't surprised that Rattata was knocked out by an electric shock. After all, while Rattata's attack was impressive, its physique was rather weak. However, the one knocked out by a single thunderbolt was Blue King. Blue King was one of Yamato's main Pokémon, and it had only just entered the battle before being eliminated. Good job, Pikachu, keep using Thunderbolt. Seeing Pikachu, who had just been lying there drowning, immediately unleash its power after being threatened, Misty's resentment towards it vanished instantly. At this moment, Misty's face was flushed, and she excitedly took on the role of trainer, issuing an attack command to Pikachu. Damn it, if that's the case, then don't blame me for being impolite. Houndoom, Sably, come out. Pikachu's strength far exceeded Yamato's expectations. Faced with a Pikachu that could easily send Blugago to its doom, Yamato could only summon all her Pokémon in her anger. As a member of Team Rocket, Yamato admitted she had never heard of the one-on-one rule. Ow! Ghost, with Yamato's summons, a black hound and a humanoid Pokémon with purple fur appeared before her. Pikachu, holy crap, is this Team Rocket? Mu Chen originally thought that after defeating Blugago, Yamato could basically clock out. But he never expected this woman to be so powerful. That's 4 Pokémon already. And their strength doesn't seem to be weak either. It's true that there's no harm without comparison. Thinking of Jessie, and then looking at Yamato in front of him, Mu Chen finally understood the true strength of Team Rocket's members. Attack. Houndoom, use Flamethrower. Sably, use Power Gem. To complete the mission, Yamato used all her trump cards. Even if your Pikachu is powerful, I don't believe it can take on 2 at once. Pikachu, watch out. Seeing the 2 Pokémon from Yamato with such an astonishing aura, Misty was immediately shocked. Team Rocket this time is really strong. Pika, so what if there are 2? Do you think I'm afraid of you? Although Mu Chen could no longer use the enhanced Thunderbolt after charging, he was not afraid of these 2 newly summoned guys at all. They're just 2 stupid turrets standing still. Agility activated. With the help of agility, Mu Chen quickly dodged the oncoming flamethrower. Then, Pikachu, ZZZZZ, Thunderbolt shot out. Boom, the Power Gem move was intercepted while still in the air, bursting out with a huge roar. So what if you blocked it once? Houndoom, keep using Flamethrower. Sably, you too, keep using Power Gem. I refuse to believe you can block it a second time. After seeing Pikachu block her attack, Yamato showed no discouragement. Instead, her bright eyes shone with a dazzling light. Mu Chen's charged, enhanced Thunderbolt had indeed startled Yamato. If Pikachu's casual attack was so powerful, she probably wouldn't be a match for it. But Yamato wasn't willing to give up. If she were scared away by just one of Pikachu's attacks, where would her pride be? Therefore, Yamato chose to stay and continue fighting. I refuse to believe that a mere Pikachu can be so powerful. After this round of probing, Yamato's worries had dissipated. Sure enough, that Thunderbolt that instantly killed Blue Emperor was definitely not something to be used lightly. Having confirmed this, Yamato naturally let go of her worries. However, she didn't know that Mu Chen wasn't one of those silly Pokémon who just sparred with skills. Pikachu, what the hell? Again? Don't even think about it. Seeing that Yamato tried to repeat the same attack after its first, Mu Chen wasn't having it. Seriously? If he let you keep shooting like that, who knows if he'd accidentally get caught off guard? Dodging these things always involves mistakes. Compared to passive defense, Mu Chen preferred proactive offense. Using his high-speed movement, Mu Chen unleashed a quick attack on Sably, who was still preparing to use a Power Gem. Monster, quick attack is a high-speed move, and combined with the high-speed movement, Sably barely had time to react before being knocked to the ground. Pikachu, without pausing after knocking down Sably, Mu Chen fired a lightning-fast thunder wave at the nearby Houndoom. Ow! A sudden electromagnetic wave struck, leaving Houndoom completely bewildered. What was going on? Why did it feel like its body was out of control? Paralyzed by the electromagnetic wave, Houndoom's movements were severely hampered. Even its planned flamethrower was aborted. Damn it! Sably, get up. Use Shadow Claw to counterattack. Houndoom, ignore the paralysis and use Roar. Seeing Pikachu break his attack in this way, Yamad was furious. This cunning creature, its battle instincts were so sharp. Normally, Pokémon rely on instincts in battle, rarely making such informed decisions based on the situation. This is why Pokémon trainers exist. But this Pikachu, even without a trainer's guidance, could make the most advantageous tactical choice in the shortest time. How could Yamad not be astonished? But how could Yamadou know that Mu Chen's trainer? Monster, Ow! With Yamadou's command, Sably's arm flashed with a cold light, clearly its Shadow Claw was ready to strike. At the same time, Houndoom let out a loud howl. Although the howl itself had no offensive power, it could briefly intimidate the enemy's mind, and even timid Pokémon would be scared away. According to Yamadou's calculations, after Houndoom's howl, Pikachu's movements would inevitably be affected. That would be the best time for Sably to launch an attack. But Alice, her opponent was Mu Chen. Pikachu, what the hell is that yelling about? It's not even as loud as the husky next door in my past life. Chapter 152 The Hot Spring Stained Red. How is this possible? At this moment, Yamato was completely panicked. How could this Pikachu be so powerful? After Houndoom let out a roar that could have a deterrent effect, Pikachu was completely unaffected, flipping over and using Iron Tail to directly lash out at Sably, who was waving its claws and trying to pounce. Then, Pikachu delivered a thunderbolt to the howling Houndoom. Seeing the Houndoom convulsing from the shock, and seeing Sably looking disheveled, Yamato panicked. Pikachu actually ignored Houndoom's roar and launched a series of attacks with incredible speed, defeating her Pokémon. Yamato knew that at this moment, she couldn't possibly defeat this powerful Pikachu on her own. As expected of the Pokémon that the boss specifically requested to be caught, its strength was indeed incredibly powerful. Pikachu, well done. Don't let that damn Team Rocket get away. Unlike Jessie and her trio, Yamato was determined to kill from the start. How could Misty possibly let such a ruthless person escape? Pikachu, of course, it wasn't just Misty who wasn't going to let Yamato go. Mu Chen wasn't going to let this woman escape either. Damn it, how dare she try to kill my precious Misty? She's asking for death. At this moment, Mu Chen felt a murderous intent for the first time. Damn it. You just wait, I'll be back. Sably, use Dig, let's go. After recalling the defeated Pokémon, Yamato retreated with a sullen expression. Because she had underestimated her opponent, Yamato made a wrong judgment this time. Yamato had naturally heard Misty's cries for Pikachu. Rather than be captured, Yamato preferred to accept defeat. Anyway, there's still Casaburo on the other side. If they successfully steal the Pokéball containing Pikachu, then no matter how powerful Pikachu is, it won't be able to escape. Hey, with Yamato's command, Sably immediately stuck out its rear end and frantically dug into the ground. Pika, trying to run? Not so easy. Seeing the enemy trying to retreat right under his nose, Mu Chen was furious. They're really not taking me seriously. You wretched yellow-skinned rat, take this. Just as Mu Chen was about to charge up and deliver a powerful 100,000-volt attack to Sably, Yamato suddenly threw a black iron ball at him. Pika, holy crap. A bomb. Lie down. Seeing the thing Yamato threw, Mu Chen instinctively thought it was a bomb or something similar. PFFT, but when he lay down with lightning speed, he realized he had fallen into a trap. What the hell? What the hell is this? A smoke grenade? With a muffled thud, the area where Mu Chen and Yamato were located was quickly enveloped in thick smoke. Clearly, this was a smoke grenade used by Yamato during her retreat. Pikachu, stop right there. Realizing he'd been tricked by this woman, Mu Chen was instantly enraged. You son of a bitch, you dare to play me? Trying to escape? You'll stay here. Facing the direction he remembered, Mu Chen sprinted away. Gotcha. In a few quick movements, Mu Chen successfully caught up with Yamato by instinct. However, due to the black fog, Mu Chen couldn't see and could only send out an electromagnetic wave, then just blindly grabbing around. Damn it. Damn it. You just wait. I'll be back sooner or later. Finally, with a startled and angry shout from Yamato, Mu Chen lost sight of his target. Pikachu, damn it, I definitely caught her. How could she get away? But what exactly did I grab just now? Why is it so soft? Mu Chen was completely baffled by Yamato's successful escape. This is so illogical. The electromagnetic waves were clearly sent out. Shouldn't this woman be paralyzed? And the tactile sensation from his short arms was a clear reminder that Mu Chen had indeed grabbed his target. But Alice, Yamato still managed to escape. Wait? What am I holding in my hand now? In a daze, Mu Chen suddenly felt as if he was pulling something with his short arms. Pikachu! You little bastard, go to hell. Gradually, the black mist dissipated. But before the puzzled Mu Chen could see what he was holding, he suddenly heard Xiaoxia's angry shout from behind. Bang! Splash! Before Mu Chen could react, Xiaoxia's powerful kick came flying. Caught off guard, Mu Chen was kicked directly into the hot spring. Pikachu, holy crap! Murdering her husband? What the hell happened? Mu Chen felt utterly wronged after being kicked by Xia for no reason. What the hell did I do to deserve this? I risked my life to save you, and this is what I get in return? HMPH. What are you looking at? Take a good look at what you're holding. Don't you know what you did? Stop pretending to be innocent. Pikachu, I'm telling you, I'm never talking to you again. Xiao's anger didn't subside after kicking Pikachu away. Looking at the bewildered Pikachu, Xia angrily threw down a sentence and turned to leave. Pikachu, what's going on? Kicked away and then inexplicably cursed, Mu Chen felt truly wronged. What the hell did I do? Look at what's in my hand. That's right. Damn it. So focused on Xiaoxia, he forgot to even look at what it was. Thinking this, Mu Chen ignored Xiaoxia as she turned to leave. With his little hand raised high, Mu Chen finally saw what was hanging in his hand. Holy crap. This is amazing. No wonder it felt so soft before. No wonder Yamato was so furious when it escaped. No wonder Xiaoxia suddenly got angry. Looking at the woman's fitted little cotton padded jacket in his hand, at this great invention designed specifically to enhance a woman's figure, Mu Chen's nosebleed once again uncontrollably stained the hot spring red. Just as Mu Chen's nose stained the hot spring, Xiaozhi, resting in the bedroom, also started a battle with Kasaburo. Damn Team Rocket, trying to steal Pikachu's Pokeball? Don't even think about it. Curlia, use Psychic, ha ha ha. Kid, since you've chosen to fight, don't regret it. Mighty Ina, use Crunch, take this little thing down. Chapter 153 Ash vs Saburo. Rilakkuma, since evolving, Curlia has rarely had the chance to appear due to its increased size. Now that Pikachu isn't by Ash's side, Curlia has taken on the responsibility of protecting him. Facing Mighty Ina, a Dark-type Pokemon immune to Psychic-type moves, Curlia didn't back down at all. Waves of pink energy shot from Curlia's forehead, their target being the charging Mighty Ina. Ha ha ha. Naive kid. How could Psychic-type moves possibly hurt Mighty Ina? Seeing Ash, this stubborn brat, completely ignoring type advantages in battle, Kasaburo laughed wildly. Because the hot spring resort wasn't officially open yet, the trainers, including Ash, who were enjoying free access, had chosen accommodations that were relatively far apart, giving Kasaburo ample opportunity. At least, even if he made a big commotion, it wouldn't alert anyone, right? Heave-ho, just as Kasaburo was brimming with confidence, believing that the Mighty Ina would soon be defeated by its sharp teeth, an unexpected event occurred. What? How is this possible? Aren't Dark-type Pokemon immune to Psychic-type attacks? Looking at the Mighty Ina struggling in midair, Kasaburo's arrogant face was filled with shock. HMPH. What's so strange about this? I didn't send Curlia to attack the Mighty Ina, I just used psychic powers to control it. Now, show me what other tricks you have up your sleeve. Seeing Curlia's success, Ash was even more confident. Team Rocket? They're just a bunch of despicable guys who only bully the weak. Kid, you asked for this. Come out, Cloyster, Primip. Seeing that the controlled Mighty Ina couldn't escape for a while, Kasaburo, after a brief moment of astonishment, once again let out a ferocious smile. HMPH. It's just controlling one Mighty Ina? This old man has more than just that one Pokemon. Pop pop, puff-ha. At Kasaburo's summons, a gigantic shell-like Pokemon and a wildly jumping Primip appeared before him. Damn it, did you think I couldn't handle this? Fine, you choose me. Pidgeotto, Melodic, go for it. Seeing this suddenly appearing Team Rocket member summon two powerful Pokemon immediately after Mighty Ina was subdued, Ash quickly prepared. Pokemon aren't just for you. HMPH, you little brat who won't learn until you're faced with a tough challenge. Cloyster, use Ice Beam, target that Pidgeotto. Primeape, charge. Use Rampage, knock that giant snake over. Ash's tenacity exceeded Casaburo's expectations, but it didn't deter his determination to snatch Pikachu's Pokeball. How could he easily give up on a mission assigned by his boss? Pidgeotto, use Quick Attack to dodge Cloyster's attack, then counterattack. Melodic, use Water Pulse, commanding two Pokemon in a double battle simultaneously was a first for Ash. His face was filled with excitement and anticipation, but not a trace of panic. Ash never backed down from a battle. Team Rocket? I will definitely defeat you. Pop pop, Cloyster was the first to attack. After letting out a sharp cry, a beam of cold light shot out from the cracks in its shell, aimed directly at Pidgeotto circling in the sky. Beep, receiving Ash's command, Pidgeotto instantly transformed into a bolt of lightning, using Quick Attack to dodge Cloyster's Ice Beam in a flash. Then, Pidgeotto flapped its wings again, swooping down on Cloyster. PFFT, on the other end, Primeape charged fiercely towards Melodic. I know, Melodic was Ash's strongest Pokemon besides Mu Chen. Facing the Primeape charging like a tank, Melodic didn't flinch. It opened its mouth wide, spewing out a stream of water-type energy with a spiraling force. Whoosh, having already activated its charge mode, Primeape naturally ignored the oncoming water pulse. After withstanding the water pulse, the soaking wet Primeape burst out of the attack range. PFFT, although the water pulse had drained a lot of its stamina, Primeape's eyes now flashed with a bloodthirsty light. Melodic was almost there. Bang! The sound of impact rang out. Melodic, not expecting Primeape to be so tough, didn't even make a dodge move and was violently knocked back several steps. PFFT, giving Melodic no chance to adjust, Primeape once again transformed into a tank, launching a second charge at Melodic. Damn it! Melodic, use Bind to restrict Primeape's movements. Clearly, Casaburo's Primeape was far stronger than the one Ash had encountered before. Seeing that this creature had withstood Melodic's water pulse and could still launch such a fierce attack, Ash quickly changed his battle commands against Melodic. Beep beep, but just then, Pidgeotto let out a mournful cry. Attracted by the sound, Ash quickly turned his head to look. What he saw made Ash's heart sink. At this moment, Pidgeotto had already been shot to the ground by Cloyster's Ice Beam, and judging from Cloyster's posture, it was clearly not satisfied with just that. Ha ha ha. Kid, let's see what other tricks you have up your sleeve. Casaburo's will give you one last chance. Hand over Pikachu's Pokeball, or all your Pokemon, including you, will die. Although Pidgeotto dodged Cloyster's first attack, the unlucky kid couldn't avoid it a second time. Faced with his first ever double battle command, Ash was clearly at a loss. Damn it. No way. Kirlia, quickly help Pidgeotto and control Cloyster. Pikachu and Pidgeotto were both Ash's Pokemon. Ash would never abandon any of his Pokemon. Seeing Pidgeotto in danger, Ash quickly commanded Kirlia, who was controlling Mighty Ina, to rescue it. However, in his haste, Ash forgot that Kirlia's entire focus was on controlling Mighty Ina. Chapter 154, a critical moment. Relic, I know. As the battle continued, Kirlia and Melodic screams echoed throughout the hot spring resort. Freed from Kirlia's control, the newly freed Mighty Ina naturally displayed its powerful offensive capabilities. Although Kirlia successfully rescued Pidgeotto, the price it paid was its own death. Surrounded by Cloyster and Mighty Ina, Kirlia was unable to retaliate and could only constantly use teleport to evade attacks. However, prolonged defense inevitably crumbles, and during a brief gap in teleportation, Kirlia was struck by Cloyster's Ice Beam. This completely put Kirlia in a passive position. Ice Beam is one of the most powerful Ice-type moves. Hit by the Ice Beam, Kirlia's stamina and movement speed were greatly affected, and after struggling for a short while, it was finally bitten hard by Mighty Ina. After defeating Kirlia and Pidgeotto, Casaburo naturally wouldn't let Cloyster sit idle. Melodic was already struggling to withstand the attacks of Primeape, and now with Cloyster's onslaught, it was immediately at a disadvantage. Although it could rely on its powerful recover ability to improve its survivability, the unleashed Primeape's powerful attacks were beyond Melodic's limits. After enduring several waves of attacks, Milotic finally succumbed. Ha ha ha. Kid, it's too late for regrets now. Watch your Pokémon die. And then, you'll be the one who dies. Having achieved a near-complete victory in the 3-on-3 battle, Kasaburo's arrogance intensified. Damn it. Pidgeotto, get up. Kirlia, Milotic, hold on. Seeing his Pokémon defeated one after another, Ash's eyes were bloodshot with anxiety. If he didn't know he wouldn't be able to help much, he probably would have rushed in to fight alongside his Pokémon. HMPH. Kid, I've lost my patience. Mighty Ina, kill this Kirlia. Seeing that Ash wouldn't submit no matter how he threatened him, Kasaburo was furious. It seemed he had to kill one of his Pokémon before this brat would know what true fear was. Haru, receiving Kasaburo's command, Mighty Ina revealed a human-like, ferocious grin. Its massive jaws opened, its sharp teeth gleaming coldly as it lunged at the already weakened and collapsed Kirlia. No, seeing Kirlia in danger, Ash disregarded everything else and charged at Mighty Ina. Pikachu. Ash was fast, but someone was faster. Just as Ash moved, before he could even reach Mighty Ina, a cry rang out from behind him. The sound followed him. As the howl rang out, a golden figure flashed like lightning, charging headlong into the large wolfhound. This was none other than Mu Chen, who had been rushing towards them. After driving Xiaoxia away and staining the hot springs red, Mu Chen finally realized what was happening. Damn it. That woman Yamato left me a souvenir, but this system mission doesn't seem to be over yet. Not receiving a system notification that the mission was complete, Mu Chen immediately became alert. Clearly, the attacking Team Rocket wasn't just Yamato's doing. Thinking of this, Mu Chen knew that Xiaoxia was also in danger. What else was there to say? Without hesitation, Mu Chen sprinted towards Xiaoxia's location. Just as Mu Chen arrived, Kasaburo was about to kill Kirlia. This was unacceptable. Kirlia was Mu Chen's chosen girl. Seeing his girl in danger, Mu Chen instantly went into berserk state. Without the slightest hesitation, Mu Chen decisively activated Quick Attack. Already using high-speed boost to travel. The addition of Quick Attack allowed Mu Chen to barely block the Greethound's attack with lightning speed, successfully rescuing his girlfriend, Kirlia. Rilaku, at the critical moment, seeing Pikachu descend from the sky, Kirlia's previously dim eyes instantly shone brightly. Clearly, this proud little girl was moved. Pikachu, Mu Chen had no time to care about Kirlia's thoughts. After knocking the Greethound over with a single blow, Mu Chen didn't stop, instantly unleashing Thunderbolt, striking the still unable to get up Greethound hard. Sizzle, heave-ho, a flash of electricity, and the Greethound let out a painful roar. Pikachu? Ha ha ha. Great, seeing Pikachu arrive, Ash was overjoyed. Now that Pikachu is here, it's time for a counterattack. Ash has complete confidence in Pikachu because of its long track record. My starter Pokémon never disappoints. Pikachu? Strange, how did you get here? Did Yamato fail? Seeing Pikachu arrive, Kasaburo looked puzzled. He and Yamato had previously been responsible for Pikachu and the Pokéball respectively. Now Pikachu was unharmed. So, where was Yamato? Kasaburo was very worried about his partner. Pikachu, Yamato? That woman disappeared after leaving me a gift. Damn it, you little green hat, you dyed your head green and tried to act like a non-mainstream girl, and you even wanted to touch my girl? I'll electrocute you. Kirlia's life was nearly in danger, and Mu Chen was already furious. Without waiting for Ash's command, Mu Chen immediately entered recharging mode after electrocuting the mighty Ina. Clearly, the enraged Mu Chen intended to electrocute Kasaburo in one blow. HMPH. Arrogant. Primip, Cloyster, ignore Milotic, go and take down this Pikachu. Milotic was a much more prized Pokémon. This was why Kasaburo ordered Kirlia to be killed instead of Milotic. Giovanni only wanted Pikachu. Kasaburo had already considered Milotic his prey. Regardless of what happened in Yamato, since Pikachu had walked right into his trap, Kasaburo wouldn't be polite. In Kasaburo's eyes, Pikachu was no match for him. Even if it had electrocuted the Medina with a sneak attack, he could easily win the battle with Primip and Cloyster. Chapter 155 A Faint Smell of Seafood Barbecue. I know, just as Primip and Cloyster abandoned the heavily injured Milotic and prepared to flank Pikachu, Milotic suddenly let out a loud cry. The previously heavily injured and collapsed Melodic stood up again, its long tail extending to firmly bind the unsuspecting Primip in place. Damn! How is this possible? Melodic's sudden outburst clearly exceeded Casaburo's expectations. Wasn't Melodic previously so badly beaten that it couldn't even use a recover? How could it suddenly regain its strength? But how could Casaburo know? Melodic's evolution is through a bond of friendship. And the object of that bond isn't its trainer. Upon seeing Pikachu arrive, Melodic immediately perked up, even slightly recovering its depleted strength. Using this slight recovery, Melodic decisively used recover on itself. Relying on its powerful endurance, Melodic was able to rejoin the battle. You see, the gentle Melodic would never let her little man fight alone. Pikachu, just as Melodic controlled Primip, Mu Chen, having finished charging, also made his move. Cloyster? An ice-water type Pokémon? HMPH. I'll send you to heaven with one thunderbolt. Mu Chen didn't care about Pidgey's miserable state. That stubborn little guy always ended up like that in battle anyway. But his two girls were also beaten so badly, and Mu Chen couldn't tolerate that. The system mission even warned that failure might mean losing his girls. How could Mu Chen not know that this was a life-or-death battle? Although Mu Chen hadn't killed any opponents since arriving in this world, at this moment, he was truly determined to kill. Want to kill my girls? Then you'd better be prepared to pay the price with your life. Sizzle, sparks of electricity began to leap on Mu Chen's cheeks. Thunderbolt, ready to strike. Clover, use Ice Beam to block its attack. Seeing Pikachu's imposing aura, Casaburo quickly gave the command to Cloyster. Pikachu's Thunderbolt could easily overpower a mighty Ina. The battle-experienced Casaburo knew this all too well. If Cloyster, whose type was weak against Pikachu, were to take a hit from Thunderbolt, it would likely be severely injured, if not killed. Without Cloyster's powerful fighting force, Casaburo himself would have a difficult time escaping this battle unscathed. Pop-Poop, as Casaburo's main Pokémon, Cloyster's speed in using moves was naturally incredibly fast. The moment Casaburo gave the command, Cloyster unleashed Ice Beam. Clearly, this was intended to catch Pikachu off guard. But Alice, its opponent was Mu Chen. Pikachu, you trash, die! Facing the incoming Ice Beam, Mu Chen neither dodged nor evaded, his 100,000 volts of electricity violently converging from beneath his cheeks. Finally, a fist-thick bolt of electricity surged forth, fiercely attacking the Ice Beam. Boom! As the two attacks collided in mid-air, a violent explosion resounded. According to Casaburo's calculations, Cloyster's powerful combat strength should have been enough to withstand Pikachu's attack. However, the final result exceeded Casaburo's expectations. Before the dust from the explosion had even settled, a golden bolt of lightning shot out from the smoke, its target being Cloyster. Crack! Giving Cloyster no time to react, the 100,000 volts that had shattered the Ice Beam slammed into Cloyster's body. A desperate and mournful cry escaped Cloyster's mouth. Immediately, the smell of grilled seafood filled the air. With just one thunderbolt, Cloyster was instantly defeated. What? Seeing Cloyster defeated by Pikachu's thunderbolt, Casaburo panicked. How could this be? It was just a Pikachu. A Pikachu that could use thunderbolt was rare enough, but one that could use such a powerful thunderbolt was unheard of. Well done, Pikachu, keep attacking and help Melodic take down this Primip. Unlike Casaburo's shock, Ash was incredibly excited. Although there was a real death in this battle, Ash was completely unaffected. Since the damn Team Rocket wanted to kill his Pokémon, they should pay the price. For Ash, although he wouldn't actively kill any Pokémon, if the other party wanted to kill him, Ash wouldn't show any mercy. Damn it. You brat, you just wait, I'll be back. Cloyster's unexpected death completely disrupted Casaburo's plans. When he saw Pikachu pounce on the trapped Primip, Casaburo knew the battle was lost. As a villain, strategic retreat was second nature to him. Without hesitation, Casaburo quickly recalled his mighty Ina and the trapped Primip into their Pokeballs, uttering a harsh threat before preparing to flee. Pika Pika, trying to run? Damn it, that woman ran away, but at least leave me some souvenirs. You little green-haired thing? HMPH. Leave your life behind. Mu Chen had no intention of leaving Casaburo any souvenirs. At this moment, Mu Chen only wanted to kill this despicable Team Rocket on the spot. Bang! But just as Mu Chen was about to activate his attack, a dull thud suddenly came from in front of him. Immediately, thick smoke rose. Pika, Damn! What's going on? This little green-haired thing didn't throw a metal ball. Mu Chen had already learned Team Rocket's retreat tricks and was prepared for Saburo to learn Yamato's methods. However, he was so focused on Saburo's hands that he overlooked Yamato, who had already escaped. It turned out that although Yamato had retreated, she hadn't gone far. When she heard the explosion, she immediately knew that Saburo was fighting Ash. Despite losing crucial protective clothing, Yamato, concerned for her comrades, still chose to go to the battlefield to support Saburo. Unexpectedly, by the time Yamato arrived, Saburo had already been defeated. Seeing this, Yamato didn't hesitate. She threw a smoke bomb, successfully covering Saburo's retreat. Pikachu, damn it! I'm so angry. With his prey escape, the furious Mu Chen could only vent his anger by unleashing a barrage of 100,000 volts at the air in front of him. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156. A pure and innocent young man, Zyozhi. Curlia. Pidgeotto. Are you both alright? As the smoke cleared, Kasaburo's figure also disappeared. Ignoring the fleeing Kasaburo, Ash immediately rushed towards the heavily injured Curlia and Pidgeotto. This battle was arguably the most dangerous one Ash had faced since embarking on his journey. While previous battles had been thrilling, none had brought him to the brink of death so directly. Through this battle, Ash's heart had begun to mature without him even realizing it. Battles between Pokémon were not as simple as he had previously thought. In the future, when he faced these villains again, such life-or-death battles would be unavoidable. Ash. How are you? Are there Team Rocket members here too? Just then, a slightly panicked voice came from behind Ash. It was Misty, who had stormed off earlier in a huff. Frustrated by Pikachu, Misty had naturally intended to return to her room to rest. However, remembering that Ash, the glutton, had asked her to get 2 boxes of sushi, Misty had no choice but to head towards the kitchen. And just then, she brushed past Mu Chen, who was rushing to Ash's aid. As Misty finished getting the sushi and headed towards her room, a violent explosion suddenly erupted in front of her. Hearing this, Misty knew immediately that Ash had been attacked by Team Rocket. In a panic, Misty abandoned the sushi and ran towards the explosion. Just then, after Kasaburo retreated, Misty, drenched in sweat, arrived. Haha, I'm fine. Team Rocket has been driven away by Pikachu, but Curlia and Pidgeotto aren't doing well. We'll need to find a town to treat them later. This hot spring resort was located in the wilderness, so there was no way to find a high-end facility like a Pokémon Center. Ash's only option was to carry their badly injured Pokémon through Diglett's burrows until they reached Fuchsia City. Pikachu? It's not. You bastard. Hearing Ash's words, Misty was slightly taken aback. Shouldn't that little Pikachu be in the hot spring? The hot spring wasn't exactly close to their chosen resting place. At such a distance, even if a battle broke out here, Pikachu in the hot spring wouldn't be able to detect it. Confused, Misty instinctively turned her head to look around. And there she was, the yellow-skinned mouse still in a state of righteous indignation. Seeing it made Misty let out a shy scream. Before Ash and Pikachu could react, the embarrassed and angry Misty quickly stepped forward and delivered a hard kick to Pikachu's upturned little butt. Bang! Unsurprisingly, a bewildered Mu Chen was kicked away again. Pika, what the hell? What's wrong with him today? Did he take the wrong medicine? I could understand the first kick, but why the hell did he kick me again? Mu Chen was inexplicably kicked again by Zyozhi, right in front of Melodic and Curlia. He was furious. Damn it, if you don't give me a reasonable explanation, I'll beat you up. Zyozhi, as a real man, Mu Chen was willing to give everything for his woman, but he would never be a simp. Zyozhi? What are you doing? Why did you attack Pikachu? Mu Chen wasn't the only one bewildered. Ash's expression was just as confused. What happened? Why did she kick Pikachu? Weren't Zyozhi and Pikachu very close? In fact, Ash, Pikachu's owner, was often jealous of their close relationship. But today, Pikachu had just done something great, and Zyozhi, who arrived shortly after, kicked it? What happened? Did something happen when they went to the hot springs? Yes. That must be it. It must be because Pikachu ran too fast and didn't wait for Xiaoxia, so she got angry. Girls are such troublesome creatures. A sudden flash of inspiration struck Xiaoxi, as if he had already figured out the truth. Xiaoxi, are you blind? Look at what's on Pikachu's head. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Seeing Xiaoxi still questioning her, Xiaoxia was so angry she almost kicked him too. These two, Xiaoxi and Pikachu. They're truly two extremely eccentric characters. How did I have to run into them? Huh? What's on its head? I didn't notice. Hearing Xiaoxia's prompting, Xiaoxi suddenly realized. But what was on Pikachu's head that could make Xiaoxia so angry? Xiaoxi was still completely baffled. Pika, head? Unlike Xiaoxi, when Xiaoxia mentioned what was on its head, Mu Chen suddenly understood. Holy crap. So that's why. Damn, it was an accident, a complete accident. Apparently, in his haste to get somewhere, Mu Chen couldn't bear to give up this hard-won trophy. So he simply put it directly on his head, and his ears could easily pass through it, securing it firmly. He'd completely forgotten about it during the battle. Now, Xiaoxia reminded him. He'd apparently forgotten to hide it. Hey. What is it? It's just a little outfit. My mom has a lot of these. What's so strange about it? Out of curiosity, Xiaoxi naturally focused his attention on Pikachu's head. Upon closer inspection, Xiaoxi discovered that Pikachu's head was wrapped in a woman's clothing. Xiaoxi felt that Xiaoxia was making a complete fuss. What's wrong with this thing? Isn't it normal? His mom has plenty. Although the little outfit was a bit brightly colored, pink, it didn't seem like a big deal, did it? His mom, there's a red one too, Ash exclaimed, completely baffled that Misty would throw such a tantrum over such a small outfit. Ash. You're such an idiot. Pikachu, I'm warning you, if you don't throw this away right now, don't even think about me hugging you again. Hearing Ash's reply, Misty nearly coughed up blood from internal injuries. This Ash, he's at least 10 years old, how can he be so naive? Seriously, I feel sorry for Hanako. Chapter 157. Next stop, Ash in Red City. Oh my god. Can anyone tell me what happened? This is a hot spring resort, not a Pokémon battle center. As the middle-aged man was about to tell the trainers that their vacation was coming to an end, the scene before him nearly sent him into the next phase of his life. My resort. My hot spring. What happened? Why are there explosion marks all around the hot spring? Even the hot spring itself is covered in blood? And this rest area, why are there explosion marks everywhere too? The resort hasn't even officially opened yet, and I have to do all the repairs? At this moment, only 2 words remained on the middle-aged man's face, utter despair. Sir, I'm really sorry. Team Rocket suddenly appeared last night, and we battled them, which is why your resort was damaged. Ash's character was quite good. At least, facing the enraged man, Ash dared to admit his mistake instead of pretending ignorance. Team Rocket, hearing Ash's explanation, the middle-aged man was slightly taken aback. Team Rocket is the most notorious evil organization in the Kanto region. If his resort were targeted by them. That's right, sir, I can confirm this for this idiot. Team Rocket members did attack yesterday. My female companions were also attacked by Team Rocket. I was originally planning to support this idiot, but perhaps Team Rocket was afraid of making a big fuss, so they only harassed him for a bit and then retreated. As a rich young master, Gary was the first person to spend money at the middle-aged man's resort. His female companions wouldn't enjoy the perk of a free stay. The middle-aged man was a businessman, and these young women did basically nothing except kick his thighs. How could he let them eat and stay for free? Gary naturally didn't care about this. With money flowing, his female companions naturally spent a whole day at the resort with him. Similarly, Gary learned about the Team Rocket attack from his female companions' descriptions. And indeed, as he said, Gary really did intend to support Ash. Unfortunately, by the time Xiaomao arrived, Team Rocket had already vanished. The only thing left for Xiaomao was a pink women's protective apron. As for that apron? Of course, it was Mu Chen's spoils of war. Under Xiaoxia's coercion and enticement, Mu Chen tearfully waved goodbye. Mu Chen wasn't stupid. If he really angered Xiaoxia over such a toy, he would be the one who suffered. Therefore, Mu Chen could only pretend to be nonchalant and casually toss it away in front of Xiaoxia. Is that really so? Oh dear, that's troublesome. Thank you so much this time. After receiving confirmation from the big spender Xiao Mao, the middle-aged man believed everything Xiao Zhi had told him. At this moment, the only thought in the middle-aged man's mind was to quickly pack up and sell off the hot spring resort. He was joking. Could he continue operating a business that Team Rocket had their eyes on? Anyway, the middle-aged man was definitely not that stubborn. Pikachu, Mu Chen had absolutely no interest in the middle-aged man's inner thoughts. At this moment, his only thought was his spoils. What the hell? What happened? How did it all disappear in just one night? Damn it, those were my spoils. Who would be shameless enough to pick up second-hand goods? Of course, Xiaoxia was completely unaware of Mu Chen's thoughts. Otherwise, she would have said, Ash, according to the map, we can reach Fuchsia City after passing through Diglett's burrow. If we hurry, we can get there in a day. Because of Curlia and Pidgeotto's injuries, Ash didn't want to stay here for even a minute longer. Okay. Let's set off then, straight to Fuchsia City. Hearing that they could reach Fuchsia City in a day, Ash was extremely excited. The sooner they arrived, the sooner they could treat their Pokémon. At this moment, nothing was more important than that. As for that middle-aged man lamenting his unfair fate, they're not even blaming themselves, so who would willingly take the blame? I'm so tired. Ash, let's take a break. Having traveled for less than half a day, Ash and Misty had passed through the Diglett's burrow. Seeing that they weren't far from Fuchsia City, Misty said she couldn't walk anymore. You girls are such a hassle. Ash looked helpless at Misty, wanting to rest again. How far had they even gone? It was only a morning. Why was she already complaining of being tired? I'm a girl. Even if you're in a hurry, you still need to rest, right? Besides, don't I need to look at the map? What if we get lost walking like this? Misty could find countless excuses to rest. Ash was a monster, like a perpetual motion machine. Misty couldn't keep up. Okay, let's rest then. Look at the map carefully. How far are we from Fuchsia City, and the exact location of the Fuchsia Gym? Hearing Misty mention the map, Ash relented. Pikachu, Ash was dejected, but Mu Chen wasn't. Rest. It was always his favorite thing. Pikachu. Stay away from me, I get angry just looking at you. Seeing Pikachu tiptoeing towards her, Xia's pretty face immediately turned frosty. Clearly, Xia hadn't forgotten what happened yesterday. However, Xia didn't realize that her reaction was simply because she was starting to get jealous. Pikachu, holy crap. No way. Is she really angry? While traveling today, Mu Chen noticed Xia was in a bad mood and didn't dare approach her. He thought that after a morning, she would have a calm down, but unexpectedly, she was still angry. Damn it. That was completely an accident, okay? I swear to myself, it was an emergency. I didn't have time to think. But Alice, he couldn't speak, and Xia didn't pay attention to his gestures. Seeing that Xia ignored him, Mu Chen could only hang his head and helplessly walk to the side. Fine, this time the problem really was my fault, I'll let it slide. But unexpectedly, his pitiful act softened Xia's heart as she secretly glanced at him. Alright, Pikachu, come here. But you have to promise me you won't do anything filthy again. Pika, isn't that obvious? It's just a bra, nothing compares to Xia. Chapter 158 Female Ninja Lingzi. Xiaoxia, are you sure you didn't misread the map? Ash looked completely bewildered. Where was Fuchsia City? Where was the Fuchsia City Gym? Where was this? Looking at the massive, antique-style building complex before him, Ash simply couldn't reconcile this place with Fuchsia City. Ah. That's how it's marked on the map. Following the map's directions, that's Fuchsia City. Who knows where this whole complex came from? Not only was Ash confused, but Xiaoxia was equally baffled. The map clearly indicated that following the road would lead to Fuchsia City. But what the hell was this? A cluster of buildings suddenly appeared on a perfectly normal road? And it was antique style? Never mind, let's just go in and ask. Thinking wasn't Ash's forte. Since they couldn't figure it out anyway, they might as well just go in and ask. However, Ash and Xiaoxia were unaware that as they entered the complex, a pair of bright eyes were watching them intently from the hidden forest. Is anyone there? Excuse me, is anyone there? As soon as he entered the ancient-style architectural complex, Xiao called out loudly. This was basic courtesy. After all, no one knew what the owner of this place was like, and it was never good to barge in rashly. But unfortunately, Zhi's response was just an empty echo. Beep beep, random mission activated. Challenge of the Ninja Dojo in Fuchsia City. Mission requirements: defeat the Ninja Dojo gym leader, Aju, and help Zhi successfully obtain the Fuchsia City badge. Mission reward: unknown. Penalty for failure: if you fail the gym challenge, do you still have the face to continue completing the main mission? Annihilation: holy crap. Originally, Mu Chen didn't care about Zhi and the others' exploration of this ancient-style architectural complex. Having finally managed to appease Zhi, Mu Chen naturally enjoyed a rare moment of peace in her arms. She had been lying on Zhi's shoulder all morning, and that feeling was really too good. But unexpectedly, just as Mu Chen was about to continue slacking off, the system popped up, unwilling to be left out. A mission, not surprising. What Mu Chen hadn't expected was that this was the Fuchsia City Gym. And the rewards and punishments for this mission were terrifyingly high. Even the initial rewards and punishments for challenging Sabrina's gym hadn't reached this level. It was only because Sabrina personally intervened that the mission difficulty and rewards increased. And this time, the system had directly given such high difficulty rewards and punishments? Mu Chen wasn't stupid, he trusted the system's mission assessments completely. Since the system had given such high difficulty rewards and punishments, this mission was definitely not ordinary. This gym challenge was likely far more difficult than he had imagined. Mu Chen knew this was the Fuchsia City Gym, and he knew this gym was far more dangerous than the previous ones. However, Ash clearly didn't know that. A sudden scream rang out. Attracted by the scream, Mu Chen and Misty quickly turned their attention to it. They saw that Ash, somehow, had been pinned to a door by a ninja star. Ash? What happened? They had encountered a few small traps before, but none of them posed a significant threat. But this time, Ash was attacked with ninja stars. Ninja stars are incredibly powerful weapons. How could Misty not be nervous seeing them here? Luckily, Ash's clothes were only pinned, indicating the owner of the ninja stars didn't intend to harm him. Oh dear, I don't know what happened. I saw a door over here, and when I pushed it open, this happened. Ash was completely bewildered. Who would have thought he'd be attacked so suddenly? Born in darkness, living in darkness. Female ninja, Rinko is here. Trainers, don't you think this uninvited behavior is extremely impolite? Just as Misty was about to rescue Ash, a charming voice suddenly came from behind him. Pikachu, holy crap. I love it. I love it. The first person to notice the suddenly appearing Lingzi was naturally Mu Chen, who was in a relaxed state. Zhi and Zhi were confused and didn't know where they were, but Mu Chen knew. He already knew that this was the Fuchsia Gym, and Mu Chen had already adjusted his state, ready to face the extremely difficult gym challenge. But unexpectedly, before the gym challenge arrived, a ninja girl appeared first. Looking at Lingzi in front of him, wearing a bodycon skirt and tight-fitting clothes, Mu Chen almost couldn't control his nose. This is uniform. A uniform. Who are you? Are you the owner of this place? We don't mean any offense. We just want to go to Fuchsia City, but your house appeared on the route given on the map, so we wanted to come in and ask about it. Zhi was completely unconcerned about Lingzi's attire. At this moment, all it wanted to do was quickly find out the route forward. Who am I? I'm the female ninja, Lingzi, the owner of this place. I knew you entered the moment you arrived through my partner. My friend told me two silly guys walked in. Now, if you want directions, defeat me first. The female ninja clearly didn't mean any harm. Her appearance was merely to tease Ash and then invite him to a Pokémon battle. A Pokémon battle? Sure, I accept. But could you put me down first? As a battle maniac, Ash naturally wouldn't refuse such a challenge. However, with his hands and feet pinned to the door, this position was unsuitable for battle. Is it okay now? My rules are simple, a one-on-one Pokémon duel. If you can defeat me, I'll tell you how to get to Fuchsia City. The life of a ninja is quite lonely. This Lingzi was clearly a free spirit. Encountering a trainer was a rare trait, so naturally, she wanted to battle. Alright. One-on-one? No problem, I accept. It's Pikachu I choose. Lingzi's Pokémon had already stepped forward, the fluffy one that discovered their arrival. As for Ash, his choice was naturally Pikachu. Pikachu, battle? Forget about it. Unfortunately, Mu Chen had no intention of battling at the moment. Not only did he need to conserve his strength to deal with the upcoming gym leader, Aju, But he also hadn't had enough of admiring Lingzi. Go fight if you want, I'm not going. Chapter 159 Xiaoxia goes into battle. Ha ha ha. Trainer, is this how you train your Pokemon? Lingzi giggled as she saw Pikachu refuse to battle. This kid can't even command his own Pokemon? Hey. Pikachu, what's wrong? Help me defeat her. If we beat her, we can continue our journey. Ash completely ignored Lingzi's mockery. With Pidgeotto and Curlia seriously injured, and Melodic in poor condition, Ash could only rely on Pikachu. Unfortunately, the little thing had gone on strike again. Pika, no way. I'll go myself. This Miss Lingzi is clearly not the mission target. Why would Mu Chen waste his energy on her? Besides, once a fight breaks out, there's no time to admire that toned body, no time to admire those alluring long legs. Mu Chen was completely thinking of the bigger picture, it's just that Ash doesn't understand him. Of course, Xiaozhi wasn't the only one who didn't understand Mu Chen. Alright. Xiaozhi, I'll fight this time. Xiaoxia, squeezing Pikachu in her arms with frantic force, gritted her teeth and accepted the challenge. Xiaozhi, that idiot, didn't know why Mu Chen refused, but Xiaoxia certainly did. This little brat's body temperature was rising. If she didn't give him a warning, wouldn't he get another nosebleed and be embarrassed again? Huh? Okay then, Xiaoxia, are you up to it? Xiaozhi naturally had no reason to refuse Xiaoxia's offer of a fight. However, he had serious doubts about her abilities. HMPH. We'll find out if you're up to it after the fight. Go. Starmie Sidnook. I didn't call you, because her bond with Pikachu was deepening, because your unusual feelings for Pikachu were growing stronger. Xiaoxia was truly furious when she saw him acting like a lecherous pig. She had originally planned to summon Starmie to give this scantily clad Lingzi a good beating. Unexpectedly, Siddiq disobeyed commands again and volunteered to fight. Cool, right. What made Misty even more speechless was that after coming out, Siddiq looked at her innocently, as if it were the summoned Starmie. Ha ha ha. I can't take it anymore. If you're planning to use this method to get the route to Fuchsia City, then you've succeeded. Under Ash and Misty's repeated actions, Lingzi laughed continuously. Looking at this idiot in front of her, Lingzi had no desire to continue fighting. Who said we were going to use this method? Let's fight. Siddiq, I choose you. Use Ichi attack. Because of Pikachu, Misty was full of hostility towards Lingzi. Now, after being ridiculed like this, Misty couldn't sit still anymore. Cool, right. Upon receiving Misty's command, Siddiq immediately showed off its tiny paw with only 3 fingers. With a wiggle of its little bottom, it charged at Siddiq. In that case, let's fight. Siddiq, use Psychic Beam. Seeing Misty's attack, Lingzi's smile vanished. If it's going to fight, then let's fight. Who's afraid of who? Clang, following Lingzi's command, the fluffy Siddiq fired a pink Psychic Beam at the still charging Siddiq. Bang, cool, right. Unsurprisingly, Siddiq, clumsy as ever, couldn't dodge the Psychic Beam. Oops. Siddiq, get up. Use Psychic to counterattack. Seeing Siddiq's clumsy movements after being knocked down by Psychic Beam, Misty's face turned icy. This stupid duck, it's infuriating. Ha ha ha. Siddiq, keep using Psychic Beam. Keep it up, let's defeat it. Seeing her opponent so clumsy, Lingzi, the victor, was naturally invigorated. HMPH. My elder brother always lectures me. But I still won this Pokemon battle, didn't I? It turns out this is the Fuchsia City Gym, and its leader is none other than a ninja, Kiku. This female ninja is Kiku's younger sister, Lingzi. Lingzi usually trains here with Kiku, but compared to Kiku, Lingzi's Pokemon battle skills are far weaker. This is why Lingzi challenged Ash and the others. She wanted to prove to her older brother that she could also defeat these traveling trainers. Clang, at Lingzi's command, Pokemon once again fired Psychic at the still-standing Siddiq. Cool, right, with Pokemon's attack, Siddiq's pitiful cries echoed continuously. Damn it, seeing Siddiq's utter lack of effort, Misty was completely speechless. I rarely take the initiative in battle, can't you, you stupid duck, show some backbone? Unfortunately, this was a one-on-one Pokemon battle. If Xiaoxia lost, she wouldn't even have the chance to turn the tide. Frustrated, Xiaoxia could only vent her anger on her Pikachu. Damn it. Damn it. It's all this bastard's fault. If it weren't for you, would I have been so humiliated? Pikachu, what's wrong? Ouch. Mu Chen, who was silently admiring Lingzi's fit figure, was suddenly struck by a sharp pain, leaving him completely bewildered. Why did she pinch me when I lost? No way. I can't let Xiaoxi's bad habit get the better of me, I'm going to fight back. Unwilling to be pinched for nothing, Mu Chen decided to retaliate. Of course, he definitely wouldn't want to shock Xiaoxia. But since I've already been pinched, I can at least rub against her a little, right? At least I can't let myself be taken advantage of, right? Cool, right, but just as Mu Chen was about to act, Sidic suddenly let out a sharp cry. The idiot had already stood up again, the innocent look in its eyes gone, replaced by a chilling glint in them. What? How is this possible? Before Lingzi and the furball could react, the newly risen Sidic erupted. It clutched its head, tilted it to the side, and unleashed a powerful, visible burst of psychic energy. Its target was the furball and even Lingzi herself behind it. Clang. 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 Faced with this overwhelming psychic attack, the furball's illusionary light was instantly extinguished, and it was then lifted into the air by the psychic force. As for Lingzi, affected by the psychic surge, this pretty female ninja, like her furball, was also suspended in mid-air. Chapter 160 Akari, the gym leader of Fuchsia Gym. Lingzi, you're so immature. With Sidic's sudden outburst, Lingzi and her Pokémon were levitated into the air by psychic power. In this situation, the outcome of the battle was naturally decided. The most excited person wasn't the victorious Misty, but rather the pleasurable Pikachu. Although Misty was still pinching Pikachu desperately, it couldn't stop Pikachu's bright eyes from admiring the beautiful scene before it. At this moment, Mu Chen was completely captivated, unaware even of the nosebleed gushing from its nose. But just as Mu Chen was still engrossed in the scene, a cloud of smoke suddenly appeared. When the smoke cleared, a middle-aged man in a blue ninja outfit appeared in the arena. Even Sidic's psychic power was dispelled by his appearance. Brother, I was too careless. The person who suddenly appeared was none other than the gym leader of the Crimson Gym, the ninja Aju. Lingzi, remember, don't judge a book by its cover. You still have a lot of training to do. Ignoring Ash and the others, the aloof Aju was only lecturing her younger sister. Hey, are you the owner of this place? We defeated your sister, so can you tell us how to get to Fuchsia City and the Fuchsia Gym? Ash didn't care about being ignored, but not getting the victory prize was unacceptable. Already anxious to heal his injured Pokémon, Ash had no time to watch Aju lecture his sister. Fuchsia City? Fuchsia City Gym? What, trainer, are you going to challenge the gym? Hearing Ash's voice, Aju turned her attention. That's right. I'm Ash from Pallet Town, and my goal is to become a Pokémon master. So, I definitely have to challenge the Fuchsia City Gym. Your sister has already lost to us, so can you tell us how to get to Fuchsia City and the Fuchsia Gym now? Finally noticed, Ash quickly made his request. Fuchsia City isn't far from here. But this is the Fuchsia City Gym. Aju, I'm the gym leader here. If you want to challenge me, then let's do it now. Aju smiled knowingly at Ash's request. However, no one noticed the hint of coldness in Aju's smile. This is the Fuchsia City Gym? Alright. I'll challenge the gym. Please state your rules. As the saying goes, you can search high and low without finding it, but it comes to you effortlessly. No matter how much Ash thought about it, he never expected that this would be the Fuchsia City Gym he had been searching for. What more could be said? Although Curlia and Pidgeotto were seriously injured, with Pikachu by his side, Ash feared no battle. Excellent. That's great. Let's begin. My rules are simple. I'll send 3 Pokémon, and you can send as many as you want. If you can defeat my 3 Pokémon, the Fuchsia City badge is yours. Hearing Ash accept the immediate gym challenge, Aju's eyes lit up. At this moment, Aju's attention was entirely focused on the Pikachu with a pig-like face. This little thing, is it the Pikachu that defeated Sabrina's psychic-controlled Pikachu? And even had the boss specially send people from the Johto region to capture it? Ash didn't know that the ninja gym leader standing before him, Aju, was actually one of Team Rocket's high-ranking officers. Aju had heard of Ash and Misty through Team Rocket, but never expected to encounter them in his own gym today. Because he needed to continue concealing his identity and maintain his official gym leader position, Aju wouldn't actually kill Ash and the others to steal Pikachu. However, a little probing was inevitable. If this Pikachu's strength is average, then Aju can naturally capture it after they leave the gym. If this Pikachu's strength is indeed extraordinary, then Aju won't bother wasting his time. Anyway, this mission is none of his business, And he doesn't need to go out of his way to please Team Rocket's leader, Giovanni. Of course, Ash is unaware of Aju's thoughts at this moment. I only have 2 Pokemon I can battle with right now. But that's okay, come on. Let's start the battle. I choose you, Pikachu. Hearing that he could field any number of Pokemon, Ash was slightly tempted. Unfortunately, Ash could only field 2 Pokemon at the moment. He didn't dwell on it. With Pikachu present, Ash was determined to win. As Pikachu continued to win, Ash's inexplicable confidence continued to grow. Pika. This time, Mu Chen didn't choose to back down. He had been waiting for this Aju for a long time. Now that Miss Lindsay has returned to normal, and there's nothing interesting to see, Mu Chen naturally focuses all his attention on the battle. Zhi doesn't know the details of this battle, but Mu Chen knows it's no less difficult than his previous battle against Sabrina. In fact, the penalty for failure is the most terrifying kind, annihilation. With such a penalty, Mu Chen dares not be careless in the slightest. Pikachu? Then, you'll be the first to go. Mothened, seeing Zhi immediately send out the Pikachu he wanted to test, Aju was overjoyed. Aju really didn't want to waste any time if he could quickly achieve his goal. Boom! With Aju's summons, a giant moth, 1.5 meters long, appeared before him. Pikachu, attack. Use Thunderbolt. Seeing Aju reveal his Pokemon, Zhi enthusiastically chose to attack first. Pikachu. This time, Zhi and Mu Chen were on the same page. Whatever comes out, just use Thunderbolt first. Omega. Use Shadow Clone to dodge its attack. Then, use Petrify. With a tentative mind, Aju was confident he wouldn't hold back. In this battle, Aju didn't care whether Ash was a gym leader or not. His only concern was Pikachu's strength. How did it defeat Sabrina? Zzz. A burst of electric light leaped and shot towards Omega. However, at Aju's command, Omega instantly transformed into several afterimages. Mu Chen's Thunderbolt only hit air, creating a small firework. Chapter 161 The Last Moth. Pikachu, what the hell? What's going on? The 100,000 volts went off like fireworks, which Mu Chen didn't care about. It was just a test attack, and he hadn't used much power. But why the hell can't he use 100,000 volts now? Could it be that bullshit petrification technique that Aju mentioned earlier? What is that? Holy crap. Earlier, after Moth evaded Mu Chen's attack, it launched a strange energy wave at him. Because the energy was so fast, Mu Chen didn't even have time to react before being hit. Mu Chen had initially thought this energy had no offensive power and could be ignored. But now, Mu Chen discovered that he couldn't use 100,000 volts. This really panicked Mu Chen. Damn it, if I can't use 100,000 volts, am I instantly reduced to a weakling? Vamori, well done. Next, use sleep powder. Mu Chen was unaware of the situation, but as Vamori's owner, how could Aju not know? Pikachu's Thunderbolt move was now sealed. Although the seal hadn't lasted long, it was enough for him to decide the outcome of this match. Now, let's see just how strong this Pikachu really is. Upon receiving Aju's command, Vamori immediately flapped its wings, which were the size of its body, and bursts of drowsy powder sprayed from them. This was sleep powder, capable of putting the target to sleep. Pikachu. Use Thunderbolt to destroy the sleep powder in front of you. Seeing Aju's move, Ash immediately responded. However, this unlucky kid clearly didn't understand Mu Chen's current state. Pika, Thunderbolt my ass. Thunderbolt was sealed. Mu Chen had actually wanted to use Thunderbolt. Ignoring Ash's idiotic shouts, Mu Chen decisively turned around, using a high-speed movement boost to stylishly leave Aju with a golden little butt. With Thunderbolt sealed, Mu Chen's only option now was to dodge. This sleep powder was clearly no joke, and facing such a strange opponent, Mu Chen had no intention of testing it with his bare hands. Ha ha ha. Little thing, you can't win by running away. Mothrope, use Psychic to finish it off. To test Pikachu's true strength, Aju was holding nothing back. This wasn't the strength a gym leader would use against a challenger. This was Aju's true power at this moment. Its huge wings flapped again, and bursts of visible pink energy shot out from them, targeting Pikachu, who was still dodging the sleep powder attack. Pikachu. Watch out for its attack. Use Thunderbolt to counter. Seeing Pikachu completely overwhelmed, Ash panicked. What happened? Why hasn't Pikachu used Thunderbolt since that initial attack? Ash, it's not Pikachu's fault. Did you notice? That guy, Kikayo, ordered his Mythora to use Petrify on Pikachu. Now, Pikachu's Thunderbolt is probably sealed. Misty was more observant. Seeing Ash still giving mindless commands, she finally couldn't help but remind him. What? Petrify? What the hell is that? Compatibility is a mysterious art. Mu Chen and Ash's understanding of Petrify was surprisingly consistent. Pika Pika, Mu Chen, frantically running away, naturally couldn't hear Ash and Misty's conversation. At this moment, seeing the Mythora's psychic attack, he was already cursing inwardly. Damn it! Is this supposed to be a gym challenge? Sabrina was already weird enough, but you, Aju, are even more ruthless. This is practically a fight to the death. Mu Chen isn't an idiot. He could tell from Aju's current state that this guy was using his full strength in this battle. You see, in this world, to encourage trainers to take on challenges, gym trainers generally don't use their full strength when facing challengers. But Aju is different. Damn. No wonder this system mission is so difficult. Did Aju run into a troublesome neighbor? Or is he going through menopause? Despite his inner complaints, Mu Chen didn't dare stop. Unable to use Thunderbolt, facing this overwhelming psychic attack, Mu Chen's only option was to use Quick Attack to dodge. It really can run. Venomoth, use Poison Powder to cover the entire area. Let's see how this little thing runs now. After a few rounds, this Pikachu offered almost no counterattacks other than running away. At this moment, Aju had already made a judgment about its strength. Nothing special. It seems the boss only wanted to capture it because this little thing knows the Thunderbolt move, right? As for Sabrina's defeat, that can only be attributed to Sabrina's arrogance and carelessness. If she had used her true strength from the beginning, how could such a little thing that only knows how to run away possibly win? Having made this judgment, Aju had lost interest in continuing. It was better to end this boring match as soon as possible. And then, HMPH. Since this little thing is so weak, then I, Aju, will make a move. At least, Boss Giovanni values this little thing. Catching it will get me some reward, right? Aju doesn't care about Giovanni's favor, but she won't refuse a real reward. Pikachu, just as Aju was about to finish off Pikachu and end the match, a loud cry suddenly rang out. It was Mu Chen. After dodging the psychic attack, Mu Chen quickly entered charge mode. Facing this Mothra that could use various powders, Mu Chen knew that running away was pointless. Therefore, his decision was to charge. Damn it, you can't use Thunderbolt, but I'll use the charged electric shock to take you down. But as soon as Mu Chen entered charge mode, he suddenly discovered that it seemed that the seal on Thunderbolt had been broken by the charge mode. What else was there to say? Originally, Mu Chen only wanted to retaliate with electric shock, but now that he had Thunderbolt, he would show no mercy. Taking advantage of the Mothra's flapping wings, Mu Chen unleashed a Thunderbolt attack filled with rage at the guy. Damn it, trying to play tricks on me? You fucking get down on your knees. Chapter 162 Mud. This match is getting interesting. Well then, my second Pokemon is you. Muck, come out. Seeing Pikachu break through the seal in such a short time, even defeating his owner Morin with a single Thunderbolt, Aju's eyes lit up. This Pikachu is interesting. It seems I underestimated it before. With his opinion of Pikachu raised, Aju recalled a defeat at Morin and summoned his second Pokemon. Beetle, familiar appearance, familiar chirp, familiar stench. Of course, this muck of Aju's is not the one from the power plant, nor is its size as exaggerated. However, its combat power should not be underestimated. Muck? This one is easy to deal with. Charge, Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. Judging the strength of an opponent by their size is not just Mu Chen's specialty. In Ash's eyes, this Grimer, barely over 2 meters tall, was definitely easier to deal with than the one in the power plant. Pikachu wasn't afraid of that giant one, so what was this? If Ash was still incredibly nervous during the previous battle, he was completely relieved after Pikachu broke free of its seal and defeated the Venomoth. Now, seeing this Grimer, much smaller than its counterpart in the power plant, Ash's inexplicable confidence shone even brighter. Pikachu will definitely win. Pikachu, Ash wasn't the only one with this confidence. Seeing this smaller Grimer, Mu Chen was also filled with a motivation to crush it. HMPH, you disgusting little thing that only throws mud, take this 100,000 Void. Although Mu Chen's charge skill was on cooldown, he wasn't worried at all against this slow-moving opponent. Even if I can't kill you instantly, I'll wear you down. Sizzle, sparks of electricity began to leap across his cheeks. In an instant, the electricity on Mu Chen's cheeks converged and shot towards Muk. Muk, use shrink. Seeing Pikachu's stance, Aju didn't hesitate at all. Beep, after a cry, the 2-meter-tall Muk instantly shrank into a ball. Mu Chen's thunderbolt, unsurprisingly, flew over the shrunken Muk's head, creating another fireworks display. Pika, what the hell? What the hell is this? How can it shrink? Are you kidding me? Faced with Aju's endless stream of flashy moves, Mu Chen was completely dumbfounded. Can't you just fight me properly with your moves? What kind of garbage are these? Very good. Muk, now we'll counterattack. Use Muk Bomb. Aju naturally didn't care what Mu Chen was thinking. After seeing Muk perfectly dodge Thunderbolt, Aju decisively issued a counterattack command. Beep-doo, under Aju's command, Muk instantly returned to its original size. Then, unsurprisingly, it began to frantically attack its own body. Peekapa, Muk's stance was obvious to Muk. This guy is going to start his disgusting attacks again? HMPH. Just kidding, with my agile body, how could I be hit by this disgusting thing? Knowing Muk's attack patterns, Muk didn't even wait for Muk to attack before activating high-speed movement and entering Parker mode. You despicable cat, come on, you want to attack me? Don't even think about it. However, Muk didn't know that the Muk in front of him was different from the one in the unmanned power plant. At least, the skills they used were completely different concepts. Beep-doo, after a series of frantic attacks, Muk finally launched its attack. Bang! 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 Unlike the Muk from the unmanned power plant, Aju's Muk's attack wasn't a single heavy artillery barrage, but a barrage of attacks like a mortar. Ouch! Pikachu, watch out! Stop dodging, use Thunderbolt to counterattack. Seeing the Muk's attacks were so dense, Ash quickly warned Mu Chen, who was running. Pika, counterattack? Counterattack my ass. You try it. Muk's barrage of attacks caught Mu Chen off guard. But unfortunately, Muk had already seized the initiative, and Mu Chen couldn't find an opportunity to counterattack. This Muk was using Muk Bomb. This thing was countless times more powerful than the Mud attack. Of course, that wasn't the main point. When Mu Chen saw that this thing Muk threw could corrode the ground, how could he possibly have the courage to stop and exchange attacks? If he accidentally got hit, wouldn't he be disfigured? You see, Mu Chen's advantage comes entirely from his adorable appearance. If he gets disfigured and his fur is all over his body, how will he ever be able to charm the girls again? Finally, relying on his long-honed Parker skills, Mu Chen successfully dodged all of Muk's attacks with an extremely high degree of difficulty. Muk, keep attacking. Seeing that Pikachu is completely unharmed under Muk's dense barrage, Aju was slightly surprised. This little thing not only has powerful skills, but its movements are also exceptionally agile. Pikachu, again? Don't even think about it. How could Mu Chen not know how badly he had dodged before? If Muk were to fling that poisonous mud around again, he really couldn't guarantee that he could dodge it all. Therefore, when Mu Chen saw this thing start raking at his body again, he decisively chose to counterattack. You disgusting thing, I'm too scared to fight you hand-to-hand, so let's have a ranged attack. Zzzzz. A burst of electricity flashed. To quickly interrupt Muk's attack, Mu Chen used the more rapid electromagnetic wave this time. Beep, just as he was getting into it, a sudden numbness hit him, and Muk froze. Pikachu, Muk was stunned, but Mu Chen wasn't. Seizing this rare opportunity to counterattack, Mu Chen unleashed a thunderbolt attack on Muk. You fucking shrink. Shrink again. This time, to prevent Muk from shrinking, Mu Chen attacked Muk's lower body directly. You fucking shrink again, you're still standing in the same spot, aren't you? I don't believe I can't shock you. Muk, interrupt Muk Bomb, use shrink. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163 Aju's Trump Card, Crossbat. How is this possible? Aju didn't disappoint Mu Chen. Seeing the thunderbolt coming, Aju's command was exactly the same as before. However, Aju hadn't expected Mu Chen to have already changed the angle of his attack. Watching the shrunken muck get blown to the head by a single thunderbolt, Aju's face was filled with bewilderment. This Pikachu, is it really that smart? Is this still a Pokémon? It actually broke Muck's shrinking move without any warning from its trainer? Even if she couldn't believe it, the situation on the field was undeniable. Muck had already recovered from its shrunken state. Pikachu, zzzzz, with a predicted thunderbolt hitting Mu Chen's morale soared. This thing was disgusting, but its movement speed was nothing to Mu Chen. Even when it was small, I could shock it, what about when it's bigger? Seizing this rare opportunity, Mu Chen didn't hesitate at all, unleashing a barrage of thunderbolts at Muck as if it were free. Beetle. Although Muck is known for its durability, it has its limits. Under Mu Chen's relentless barrage of attacks, all Muck could do was wobble. Finally, after swaying for a while, Muck let out a painful roar and gloriously met its end. To put it bluntly, Muck isn't suited for long-range special attacks. Its strength lies in close combat, crushing, enveloping, and even stunning opponents with its terrifying muddy body once they're close. Unfortunately, its opponent was Pikachu. If it were a normal Pikachu, it might make a positioning mistake, giving Muck an opening. But Mu Chen absolutely avoided this disgusting creature. Are you kidding me? Trying to disgust me? Don't even think about it. Against this Muck, Mu Chen would rather expend a huge amount of his electric-type attacks than get even a fraction closer. This is getting more and more interesting. Muck, come back. Well then, my last Pokémon is you. Crobat. Seeing Muck defeated, Aju showed no regret, but instead had a broad smile. This Pikachu is truly extraordinary. Others might not know, but Aju certainly did. This Pikachu probably used at least 30 thunderbolts to defeat Muck. If it were an ordinary Pokémon, even an evolved Raichu, it probably wouldn't have been able to withstand that. But now? This Pikachu seems to be completely unaffected, still capable of fighting again. No wonder Boss Giovanni values it so much. Cough cough, with Aju's summons, a giant bat, 2 meters long and with an extremely fierce expression, appeared before him. Trainer, this is my last Pokémon, Crobat. If you can defeat it, the Fuchsia City Gym badge is yours. Stroking Crobat, Aju felt as if she were caressing a lover. This clearly showed the deep bond between Crobat and Aju. The last one? Ha ha ha. It's a flying-type Crobat. I'm taking this badge, seeing that Aju's last Pokémon was a flying type, which is weak against Pikachu. Ash was overjoyed. Brother, Ash didn't understand, but Lingzi certainly did. This Crobat was practically Aju's main force. If we were to rank the Pokémon held by these gym trainers, generally speaking, they would use the lowest tier Pokémon to face challengers. Pokémon like Muck and Venomoth would already be considered second tier standard Pokémon. But this Crobat was truly one of Aju's ace Pokémon. Seeing that Aju summoned his ace Pokémon while accepting the gym challenge, Lingzi's beautiful eyes were filled with shock and confusion. What was wrong with her brother? Even if they won, so what? The league had rules. Each gym had to give away a lot of badges every year, almost at a loss. Why would her brother send his ace Pokémon to fight this young trainer? This was completely beyond the scope of a gym challenge. Lingzi knew her brother's strength very well. Among gym trainers, Aju was almost unbeatable. Even the weaker Elite Four members were no match for her brother. Was this challenger really that strong? Kid, don't underestimate my Crobat. Many times, type advantage isn't everything. Crobat, use haze. After a simple response to Ash, Aju's eyes flashed with a cold light. Pikachu? Let me see where your limits are. Through the previous 2 battles, Aju had roughly confirmed Pikachu's strength. This little thing was indeed worth Giovanni's attention. Now, this was Aju's final test of Pikachu. He needed to know where this Pikachu's limits lay. If Crobat could easily defeat it, then Aju might have to make a move on this Pikachu. At this moment, Aju was planning a big operation. Through this Pikachu, he could exchange it for a considerable amount of supplies from Giovanni, which was quite a temptation for him. Previously, Aju had planned to conduct a simple test before making his move after they left. However, through these 2 battles, Aju's interest in this Pikachu had greatly increased. Conversely, if this Pikachu was very difficult to deal with and could withstand Crobat's attacks for a long time, then Aju would have to give up. After all, for the sake of his plan, Aju couldn't do anything too conspicuous. If this Pikachu was extremely troublesome, and any mishap occurred during its capture, it would be something Aju couldn't bear. For Aju, the temptation of exchanging supplies was considerable, but compared to his grand operation, it was insignificant. As for the possibility of Crobat failing, Aju had never even considered that. After all, Aju's Crobat could challenge some weaker Elite Four members. How could a mere Pikachu possibly defeat his Crobat? Cough cough, with Aju's command, Crobat flapped its enormous wings, puffs of black smoke billowing from them. Chapter 164 Battle in the Black Mist. Pikachu used Thunderbolt to interrupt its move. Ash had already experienced the power of Black Mist once before with James's coughing. If Black Mist really filled the entire field, it would be like being blind, unable to even find the enemy. Pikachu, did you even need to tell me? Seeing Crobat's stance, Mu Chen knew he had to interrupt its move. If it filled the entire field with Black Mist, it would be a huge problem. Sizzle, sparks of electricity flashed on Mu Chen's cheeks in an instant. Ha ha ha. Useless. Crobat, use Shadow Clone. Seeing Pikachu trying to interrupt Crobat's Black Mist move, Aju revealed a mocking smile. Today, let me show you the fighting style of a ninja. Cough. At Aju's command, Crobat flapped its wings, and its main body immediately emitted a series of afterimages. As the afterimages dissipated, more than 10 Crobats with perfectly synchronized movements appeared in midair. Pikachu, holy crap! How the hell am I supposed to fight this? Mu Chen, who had originally planned to interrupt the Crobats with a single Thunderbolt, was completely dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? Seeing the Crobats in the sky moving in perfect unison, making it impossible to distinguish which one was the real Crobat, Mu Chen's Thunderbolt, which he had already prepared, was rendered useless. Which one am I supposed to shock? Pikachu. Don't hesitate, just pick one and fight it. Seeing the Crobat's terrifying shadow clones, Mu Chen wasn't the only one dumbfounded. Even Ash, who was directing from behind, was equally shocked. However, unlike Mu Chen, while Ash lacked experience in battle, his talent in battle instincts was extraordinary. Seeing this situation, Ash didn't hesitate to remind Pikachu. If the real one can't be identified, then let fate decide. Pikachu, alright. Just you wait and see. Hearing Ash's reminder, Mu Chen also reacted. This was definitely not the time to daydream. Ash, that idiot, was absolutely right this time. Who cares which one is the real one? Watch my random attack. ZZZZT. Without any hesitation, the Thunderbolt, carrying Mu Chen's fervent anticipation, shot towards the Crobat. PFFT, unfortunately, Mu Chen's luck was bad. This one was clearly a fake. Crobat, now it's our turn to attack. Use agility, then, wing attack. After Pikachu's Thunderbolt missed, Crobat had successfully filled the entire arena with black mist. At this moment, everyone present was in a state of blindness. Of course, this did not include Aju and Crobat. As a ninja, Aju often trained in the dark. Through constant practice, Aju had already mastered the ability to sense the opponent's location in the dark by relying on subtle changes. As for Crobat, you know, Crobat is a Pokemon that uses sound waves to locate itself. Cough, a sharp cry came from the darkness. Pikachu, damn it. Does it have to be this disgusting? Just hearing the cry, Mu Chen hadn't even found where the enemy was before he was slapped hard. This time, Mu Chen completely panicked. Holy crap. How am I supposed to fight like this? I can't find the enemy anywhere, I'm completely in the dark, I can't even defend. Pikachu. Hold on, don't give up. Run. Run. Through constant battles, ZIOZHI's command in battle was no longer the stubborn kid he used to be. When the black mist descended, ZIOZHI also panicked. However, he then heard Pikachu's painful cry. Upon hearing Pikachu's cry, Ash immediately realized what was happening. They were still in the middle of a battle. He hadn't lost yet. While Ash often lacked emotional intelligence, one crucial element of his personality would determine his future success, an indomitable spirit. Realizing this, Ash immediately recalled Pikachu's frequent Parker tactics. Therefore, despite being blind, Ash quickly reminded Pikachu in the darkness. Pikachu. Fight on. That's all I can do for you, Pika Pika, holy crap. That's right. Run. Because of the black mist, because Crobat's attack was so sudden, and because this mission was so important, the tense Mu Chen had forgotten his most proficient fighting style. Now, hearing Ash's reminder, Mu Chen immediately understood. Run. Damn it, running is my specialty. Even if I can't see you, I can still run. Thinking it, he did it. Having made up his mind, Mu Chen didn't hesitate for a moment. He pushed off with his hind legs, activating high-speed movement, and sprinted away. Anyway, I can't see a feather, I'll just let fate decide. Run? Can you escape? Crobat, use ultrasonic waves to calculate Pikachu's trajectory and launch a predictive attack. Through Pikachu's movement, Aju had already deduced its intentions. But so what? In the darkness, Crobat is the undisputed king. Cough cough, with Aju's command, bursts of sound waves shot out from Crobat's large mouth. Although these sound waves had no offensive power, they could completely project a moving Pikachu into Crobat's head. Cough cough, after a brief positioning, Crobat pounced on Pikachu again. Bang! A sound of impact rang out. However, this wasn't Crobat hitting Pikachu. Pikachu, ZZZZT. Just as he made a random turn, Mu Chen felt something rushing towards him from behind. Then, the sound of something hitting the ground followed. What else was there to say? It was that idiot Crobat trying to attack him again. HMPH. I couldn't find you before, and now you've delivered yourself to my doorstep, so I won't be polite. Having pinpointed Crobat's exact location, Mu Chen activated Thunderbolt without hesitation. Cough, unable to dodge in time, the Crobat, still airborne, was hit. What? You hit Crobat? HMPH. Just lucky. Crobat, take off, relock onto Pikachu, don't attack rashly. Chapter 165. Let's settle this. Pikachu. Pikachu, having seized the opportunity to counterattack, Mu Chen was once again on the defensive. There was nothing he could do, it was pitch black, not a single hair could be seen, and the Crobat wasn't attacking randomly. Mu Chen admitted he was truly helpless. Although Ash's encouraging voice kept coming, Mu Chen could only selectively ignore it. Damn it, can't you give me constructive advice? Just shut up, okay? Of course, Mu Chen also knew that he couldn't really blame Ash in this situation. His previous reminder was the limit of what Ash could do. Now, everything depended on him. Alright. Now, Crobat, use Poison Cross. Just then, as Mu Chen hesitated for a moment, Aju's cold command suddenly came. Cough, receiving Aju's command, the Crobat hovering in mid-air suddenly let out a sharp cry. Immediately, Mu Chen felt a gust of wind above his head, but by the time he tried to dodge, it was too late. Pikachu, holy crap. That hurt like hell. This time, Mu Chen really took a heavy hit from Crobat. Crobat was one of his ace Pokémon, its level was definitely very high. Just this one hit, and Mu Chen felt his stamina draining away rapidly. Damn it. No way, I have to think of a way. If it hits again, I'm probably done for. Mu Chen was very clear about his physical condition. Its advantages were speed and the powerful Thunderbolt. As for stamina, that was always a weakling. Having already taken a wing attack, and now a powerful cross poison from Crobat, Mu Chen's stamina was almost completely depleted. If it weren't for the increased stamina from the system's reward, a normal Pikachu would probably be dead by now. Thinking of the system's terrifying penalty for failure, Mu Chen, despite his helplessness, could only muster his strength and try to improve his record. He couldn't afford to lose this battle. HMPH. Still not giving up? Well then, Crobat, keep using the cross poison and give it the final blow. Sensing Pikachu running again from within the black mist, a cold smile appeared on Aju's lips. Pikachu? Nothing special. It seems you can capture this little thing in this battle. As for Ash and Misty? Just two brats. Every year, countless trainers die in accidents. If Aju had any reservations before, they vanished after battling Pikachu. As long as he could take it down directly, there wouldn't be any unexpected situations. This wouldn't affect his subsequent operations in the slightest. Not only would it not hinder his future actions, but he could also exchange Pikachu for a lot of supplies from Boss Giovanni. Aju wouldn't refuse such a deal. Cough, Crobat's cry rang out again in the darkness. Pikachu, damn it. Come on. I'll electrocute you. Having witnessed that attack, Mu Chen knew his chances of dodging were slim. In this crisis, Mu Chen erupted. You want to rush at me and bite me? Fine, come on. I'll just use a 100,000 volt attack on myself. If you dare come any closer, I'll electrocute you. Cough cough. Sure enough, Mu Chen's desperate defensive tactic succeeded. The attacking Crobat hadn't expected Mu Chen to have such a method and promptly took a hard hit. Little thing, I didn't expect it to be able to fight back. Crobat. Use bird attack. Realizing that Pikachu could defend itself in this way, Aju's interest grew even more. He hadn't expected this Pikachu's combat instincts to be so sharp. This far surpassed that of ordinary Pokémon. You see, in this world, without a trainer's guidance, ordinary Pokémon simply fight based on instinct. But the Pikachu appearing before Aju now brought him a tremendous surprise. If it weren't for Boss Giovanni already having his eye on this Pikachu, and if it weren't for his grand plan, Aju would probably have already claimed it for himself. Now, Aju, whose interest in Pikachu has grown even stronger, has no intention of continuing to test it. The legendary bird's special attack is a super move for flying-type Pokémon. The damage it can inflict is absolutely extraordinary. Although this move, due to its overwhelming power, causes a certain amount of backlash on the attacker, it doesn't matter to Aju, as long as he can capture this Pikachu. Cough. At Aju's command, the newly launched Crobat let out a piercing cry. Whoosh whoosh. Unable to determine the Crobat's location, Mu Chen could only feel gusts of wind rushing towards him. Pikachu, damn it. You forced me to this. Being attacked continuously by Crobat, and unable to see in the dark, Mu Chen had never experienced such a humiliating battle before. Although he successfully defended against a previous Thunderbolt attack, Mu Chen knew that a regular Thunderbolt wouldn't be enough to defeat this damn Crobat. Enraged and unwilling to accept defeat, Mu Chen finally unleashed his fury. You think I can't handle you? Bird's special attack? I'll turn you into a roasted bat. It's worth noting that Mu Chen had previously received an electric ball as a reward. Although it was just a one-time use, inferior product, its boost to the power of Mu Chen's electric-type moves was undeniable. At this crucial moment, Mu Chen didn't care about wasting this hard-earned prize. Come on. You damn bat, I'll show you what Thunderbolt really is. Now, thanks to his constant running, Mu Chen's charge skill's cooldown was long gone. After activating charge, Mu Chen simultaneously activated the electric ball that the system had rewarded him with. Zzzzz. The electric ball activated, and a surge of violent electric energy began to boil within Mu Chen's body. Electric currents surged and leaped across its cheeks, as if it were about to unleash a thunderous attack on its enemy. Cough. Just then, Crobat's cry rang out above Mu Chen's head. Clearly, its attack had arrived. Pikachu, come on. Come on. Let's see if your legendary bird's special attack is stronger, or my Thunderbolt's ferocity. Chapter 166 Reward, Gigantamax. Zzzzz. Just as Crobat unleashed its flying-type special attack, bird attack, to deliver the final blow to Mu Chen, a surge of violent electric energy suddenly erupted from its cheeks. As the current shot out, the arena, shrouded in black mist, flashed with a golden light. Cough, boom, Crobat's scream and a violent explosion rang out simultaneously. What? How is this possible? Under this super thunderbolt, Crobat's black mist move was instantly dispelled, allowing Aju to no longer control the battle through his senses. But what he saw before him far exceeded his expectations. Seeing the electricity still surging wildly on Pikachu's cheeks, which had just electrified Crobat, threatening to engulf the entire arena, Aju was shocked. How the hell is this possible? This is an attack that Pikachu can use? If an ordinary person saw this attack from Pikachu, they would only marvel at its terrifying power, like Ash and Misty at this moment. But who is Aju? He's the strongest gym leader, second only to the Elite Four level. In fact, Aju's grand plan was to seize the vacant Elite Four spot on the Johto region, using it as an opportunity to escape the Dark Organization Team Rocket. Because of this, Aju's vision far surpasses that of ordinary trainers. Now, seeing Pikachu unleash a Thunderbolt, Aju was utterly shocked. This was an attack comparable to an Elite Four level Pokémon. If it were even a fully evolved Raichu, Aju wouldn't be so surprised. After all, after evolution, Raichu's base stats and total energy far exceed its pre-evolution. But this was just a Pikachu. At this moment, Aju finally understood how Sabrina had felt. But Alice, he had already lost. Ha ha ha. Pikachu, so beautiful. We won. The black mist dissipated, and seeing Crobat convulsing and collapsing to the ground, Ash knew perfectly well that he had won this battle. Pikachu, damn, that was excruciating. At this moment, Mu Chen didn't even have the strength to reply to Ash. After being charged and empowered by the electric ball, Mu Chen's thunderbolt attack was incredibly powerful. However, it also completely drained Mu Chen's electrical reserves. He was once again in a state of exhaustion. Trainer, this was truly a surprising match. Your Pikachu is very interesting. This is the Fuchsia City Gym badge, and it belongs to you now. After Krobot's defeat, Aju had already given up on capturing Pikachu. Now, Aju had already decided to leave Team Rocket. Since he hadn't managed to capture Pikachu, it wasn't worth risking his identity to continue trying. To put it bluntly, what was most important to Aju at this moment was to hide his dark identity as a member of Team Rocket and then use Team Rocket's power to seize the Elite Four title in the Johto region. Therefore, Aju was able to accept the defeat in this battle with equanimity. Awesome. Misty, did you see that? I got the Crimson badge too. Ash was so excited that he almost jumped up when he received the badge from Aju. Now, Ash had a total of 6 badges, not far from the requirement of 8 badges to participate in the Pokémon League. This was very important to Ash. You see, this little guy's goal was to challenge the Pokémon League and eventually become a Pokémon Master. It was precisely because of this goal that Ash didn't care much about other things, and only the word battle occupied his mind. Pikachu Pikachu, Ash was excited, and Mu Chen was equally excited. Ignoring Ash's celebration, Mu Chen darted into Misty's arms. System. Come on, give me my reward, I want to draw a prize. Through this battle, Mu Chen once again experienced the terrifying power of the Super 100,000 Volt. Most importantly, Mu Chen used the Mega Thunderbolt entirely on his own. Having experienced this wonderful feeling, Mu Chen truly couldn't forget it. If this Thunderbolt could become one of Makoto's skills, the scene would be simply too wonderful. Because of this thought, Mu Chen was incredibly excited about the system's lottery draw. This electric ball thing, it must be the same Pokémon enhancement equipment as that mysterious drop on the Saint N, right? Since there are fake versions, there must be genuine ones. If I could draw a real one this time. Beep beep, mission complete, reward distributed. The system never delayed in distributing rewards. With Mu Chen's anticipation, the roulette wheel appeared in his mind again. Looking at the roulette wheel with its 4 options, Mu Chen focused all his attention on Dynamax and the question mark reward. Only these 2 were truly awesome. Forget about skills and base stats, they can all take a backseat. With immense anticipation, Mu Chen spun the wheel. Dynamax. Question mark. Stop. Stop. It has to stop on these 2. As the wheel spun, Mu Chen's heart pounded. Gradually, the pointer began to descend steadily. Holy crap! Dynamax, looking at where the pointer finally landed, Mu Chen was dumbfounded. Although he had been praying for Dynamax, he had never actually hoped to win. After all, Dynamax had been on the wheel since it appeared, but Mu Chen had never won it. Unexpectedly, this time Mu Chen only wanted to try the question mark again, but he ended up winning Dynamax. Ding ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking Dynamax. Current Dynamax level 0. Can increase the size of a certain part of the host's body by 2 to 5 times within 5 minutes. Skill cooldown time 48 hours. When the pointer stopped on the Dynamax reward, the system's voice sounded in Mu Chen's mind again. What the hell? Dynamaxing has levels? I'm level 0 right now? It can only enlarge a part of the body? I want the whole body to grow bigger. What's the point of enlarging just one part? How do I upgrade this thing? Looking at the system's description, Mu Chen was completely dumbfounded. Chapter 167 The correct way to use Gigantamax. Zyoxia, how far are we from that safari zone? After leaving Misty's gym, Ash and Zyoxia arrived in Fuchsia City not far away. After a day of rest at the Pokémon Center, Ash and Zyoxia's Pokémon were finally restored. It was during this day at the Pokémon Center that Ash heard some incredibly exciting news. It turned out that not far from Fuchsia City was the famous safari zone of the Kanto region. There, a great many wild Pokémon existed. This was an incredible temptation for Ash, who was determined to catch powerful Pokémon. Moreover, before setting off on his journey, Ash had promised Professor Oak to catch as many Pokémon as possible to help with his research. Unfortunately, Ash hadn't caught many Pokémon along the way, and hadn't sent any to Professor Oak via the computer. Now that he had this opportunity, Ash was determined to go and see it. Therefore, after leaving Fuchsia City, Ash didn't hesitate to drag Misty along and headed straight for the Safari Zone. According to the map, we should be able to reach the Safari Zone in about a day's walk. But Ash, I heard that the Safari Zone is guarded by the Tota clan, and you need their approval to catch Pokémon there. Seeing Ash's excitement, Misty really didn't want to dampen his spirits. Haha. It's okay, we'll just talk to the Tota clan when we see them. Hearing Misty's suggestion, the optimistic Ash didn't care at all. Once they got there, they'd find the Tota clan members and talk to them, right? Pokémon are meant to be caught, aren't they? Pikachu, Mu Chen showed no interest in their conversation. At this moment, nestled in Misty's arms, Mu Chen's mind was filled with a Dynamax reward from before. According to that lousy system, this Dynamax is still level 0? This really hurt Mu Chen deeply. You see, Mu Chen had imagined Dynamax to be like an ancient Dragonite, or a giant Grimer, where the whole thing would grow bigger. And what happened? They gave him a nerfed version? That's one thing. What Mu Chen found most intolerable was the cooldown time. A 48-hour cooldown after one use, and only 5 minutes of use, just a nerfed version of Dynamax? Unfortunately, he couldn't fight the system. Having accepted this cruel reality, Mu Chen's only thought now was to experiment, to see if Dynamax was as he imagined. If it was, that would be better than nothing. However, because of the cooldown time, Mu Chen certainly wouldn't waste his chance to use Dynamax. So, he was now just waiting for nightfall. After a long day's journey, Ash and Misty, as Mu Chen had predicted, went camping in the wild once more as night fell. The opportunity Mu Chen had been eagerly awaiting had finally arrived. Under the moonlight, a scruffy, yellowish-brown mouse appeared beside Ash. After some verification, Mu Chen finally took the Pokeball containing Melodic. Curlia hadn't evolved into Gardevoir yet, and the system's chain quest hadn't started its next phase. Mu Chen dared not easily risk disrupting the chain quest's consequences. Therefore, the target for this Dynamax experiment was naturally his old flame, Melodic. I know, a loud and long cry rang out, and Melodic was successfully summoned by Mu Chen. Pikachu, my dear, we haven't sparred in ages. This is a rare opportunity, let's not waste this beautiful spring weather. Mu Chen summoned Melodic for the purpose of a midnight sparring match to release the pressure he had been accumulating. Of course. His main purpose was to test his Dynamax move. I know, summoned by Mu Chen in the middle of the night, Melodic naturally knew what he wanted. Without a word, Melodic instantly got into gear, its recover move ready to activate at any moment. Clearly, it wanted to have a long battle with Pikachu. Pikachu, seeing Melodic's cooperative attitude, what else was there to say? Face the cat. Face the gale. With high speed boost and quick attack activated, Mu Chen decisively charged at Melodic. I know, with Mu Chen's charge, Melodic's long cry echoed through the night sky once more. Clearly, Mu Chen had the upper hand. Pikachu, that wasn't enough. Although Mu Chen held the initiative at this moment, seeing Melodic's composed demeanor and indifferent gaze, Mu Chen erupted. You little brat, today I'll show you what I'm made of. Dynamax, activate. With a shout from Mu Chen, the Dynamax move was instantly activated. In fact, to achieve a truly intimidating effect, Mu Chen went straight for the most extreme 5x Dynamax. Although the Dynamax move could only strengthen one part at this moment, in this situation, it was enough for Mu Chen. I know, as Mu Chen activated Dynamax, Melodic on the defensive side immediately noticed the difference. Its previously indifferent eyes suddenly flashed with terror. Then, the terror vanished with Mu Chen's charge. Its eyes gradually became blank, even falling into a daze. Clearly, the effect of the Dynamax move was extraordinary. Even with its self-healing, Melodic couldn't withstand Mu Chen's storm-like attack. Pikachu, after a frenzied attack fueled by buffs, Mu Chen, drenched in sweat, entered a recovery state. Looking at Melodic beneath him, stunned by his relentless assault, Mu Chen felt extremely satisfied. This Dynamax, awesome. Damn, I don't know what you're like at max level, but this level 0, I'm more than satisfied. You see, Melodic had always been defiant towards Mu Chen. Now, through Dynamax, Mu Chen had finally and completely defeated her. This sense of accomplishment was indescribable. Chapter 168 Wilderness Area. Strange, why is Pikachu so energetic today, while Melodic is so listless? Early in the morning, Ash released his Pokémon one by one to feed them. But when he saw the listless Melodic and the fiercely fighting Pikachu, he uttered his doubts. This isn't right. Usually, Melodic is in better shape, while Pikachu is always so lethargic. How come the roles are suddenly reversed? Pika Pika, HMPH. I'll tell you, yesterday I conquered that old hag Melodic in just 5 minutes. Hearing Ash's puzzled mutterings, Mu Chen proudly raised his chin. At this moment, he finally understood what it meant to regain his virility, finally understood what it meant to conquer. Looking at the endless admiration in Melodic's big, watery eyes, Mu Chen felt like he was floating. This is what a successful man is like. Of course, this doubt was merely a trivial interlude for Ash. After a quick rest, Ash pulled the exhausted Misty along and set off again. The wild area wasn't far. Rumble, traveling swiftly. Around noon, Ash and Misty suddenly heard a violent shaking of the ground. Then, billowing dust appeared on the horizon, rapidly closing in on them. Ah! Taurus! So many Taurus! This must be a Taurus herd. Go, Pikachu, I'm going to catch them. As the loud rumbling grew closer, Ash finally recognized the source of the sound. Seeing a herd of Taurus before him, Ash was excited. Pikachu, are you a real tiger or a fake tiger? 100 or so bulldogs, and you want me to go up there? Am I just going to be a sitting duck? No way. Absolutely not. Mu Chen only selectively obeyed Ash's orders. At this moment, Mu Chen's choice was to call a truce. Whatever, go if you want, I'm not going. Ash, it seems Pikachu doesn't want to battle today. Seeing Pikachu and Ash in this frequent state, Misty chuckled. These two, while often infuriating to Misty, brought her a lot of joy most of the time. This was one of the reasons Misty chose to travel with Ash. Ugh. Pikachu, you really are. Okay, I choose you then, Kirlia. Seeing Pikachu's usual refusal to battle, Ash had no choice but to settle for second best and summon Kirlia. Really, compared to Pikachu, Kirlia was much more obedient. At least, she wouldn't disobey Ash's commands. Very good. Kirlia, battle. Use Psychic, I'm going to capture Taurus. Seeing Kirlia's mental state, Ash decisively gave her the attack command. Rilakkuma, Kirlia didn't disappoint Ash either, using Teleport to charge towards the Taurus army. Pikachu, holy crap. You little brat, you're so reckless. Seeing Kirlia obey orders without hesitation even in this situation, Mu Chen was speechless. This, looks like I'll have to summon this little brat more often to build some rapport. Obeying is expected, but you have to consider the situation and the occasion, right? Following such mindless commands? Are you going to be a sitting duck? The Dynamax move has a 48-hour cooldown, giving Mu Chen ample time to arrange Melodic and Kirlia. At this moment, Mu Chen decided that if the Dynamax cooldown wasn't up, he wouldn't challenge Melodic to a battle, to avoid being looked down upon by that old woman. And while the Dynamax cooldown was on, Mu Chen could definitely summon Kirlia to build some rapport. To be honest, after this proud little thing evolved, Mu Chen didn't interact with her much. To help her evolve into the charming and mature Gardevoir as soon as possible, Mu Chen decided to put some effort into getting rid of this proud little thing. Awoo! Just as Mu Chen was contemplating his grand plan for a happy future, a loud cry suddenly rang out. Immediately, a Growlithe pounced out from the side, unleashing a flamethrower that directly shattered Kirlia's psychic attack. Growlithe? We actually encountered such a Pokémon here? Haha, great. Kirlia, abandon Taurus, use Psychic on Growlithe. Seeing the suddenly appearing Growlithe, Ash was more delighted than surprised. This was a godsend. Growlithe's rarity far surpasses Taurus. Ash had long envied Officer Jenny's Growlithe. Hey! Put away your Kirlia. Don't you know this is a safari zone where catching Pokémon is prohibited? Just after Ash gave the battle command, a girl's voice suddenly rang out. Immediately, a Ponyta with its mane ablaze appeared before Ash, carrying a girl. Ah! This is the safari zone? I thought we hadn't arrived yet. I'm sorry. You must be from the Taurus family, right? My name is Ash, a Pokémon trainer from Pallet Town. This is Misty, my partner. Seeing the girl's guard uniform, Ash immediately understood why there was such a large Taurus population here. Yes. That's right, trainer. My name is Fuko, a Taurus guardian of the Safari Zone. Seeing Ash's friendly attitude, Fuko lowered her guard. It seemed this boy didn't realize he had arrived in the Safari Zone. Ignorance is bliss, Fuko said she could forgive Ash's previous behavior. Is that Ponyta? Its mane is really on fire. It's so hot, so hot. Seeing Ponyta's blazing mane, Ash's curiosity was piqued. While asking Tomiko, he decisively tried it himself. The result? Pikachu, that idiot. Looking at Ash's red-hot hand, Mu Chen felt incredibly embarrassed to be with him. Only those who are close to Ponyta won't get burned by its mane. I suffered a lot of this pain at first too. Seeing Ash's disheveled appearance, Tomiko laughed happily. This boy is so innocent. By the way, Ash, Misty, you've come at the perfect time. Our Tata clan is about to hold a festival. If you don't mind, you can come and play. Chapter 169 Dolph's Plot. Rumble. Just as Ash and Misty were heading to their Pokémon's village, led by Tom, the earth trembled violently once more. Huh? Is it Taurus again? Misty asked quickly upon hearing the familiar tremor. Whoa, however, this time the Pokémon attacking them was significantly faster than Taurus. In an instant, a flock of large birds with 3 heads galloped past Ash and the others. Ah! That's Dodrio, a flightless bird Pokémon? Ash pulled out his Pokédex, instantly transforming into Pokémon expert. Ha ha ha. Tom, you're doomed to lose tomorrow's match. Just then, an arrogant voice rang out. After uttering those words, the person immediately rode off on Dodrio. What? That guy is so arrogant. Seeing such an arrogant person, Misty couldn't stand it. What kind of person is this? Riding a lousy bird and thinking he's cool? He's Dodrio's trainer, his name is Dorif, and he's my opponent in this competition. Watching Dorif walk away, Tomiko explained to Misty with a helpless expression. Competition? What competition? Isn't it a festival? As a battle maniac, Ash immediately became excited upon hearing about a competition. Oh. This competition is something our village prepared for the festival. It's not a battle between Pokémon, but a race where you ride your own Pokémon. My partner is Ponyta, and Dorif's is Dodrio. Clearly, Tomiko was a very patient young lady. After hearing Ash's question, Tomiko immediately began explaining. I see. Hearing that it wasn't a Pokémon battle, Ash's enthusiasm immediately diminished. Seriously? Did Ash expect to ride Melodic in a race? Ash might be stubborn, but he wasn't really stupid. Pikachu, whether Ash was upset or not, Mu Chen didn't care at all. At this moment, his attention was entirely focused on this young lady, Tomiko. Holy crap. I hadn't noticed before, but now that I look, this girl's size seems pretty big. Of course, because of his past record, Mu Chen wasn't too bold in his observation now. Who knew when Xiaoxia would go crazy again? The feeling of being kicked like that was truly unpleasant. Ah. Is this your Dada tribe's village? It's so lively. Led by Fuzi, Xiao and Xiaoxia finally arrived at the village Fuzi had mentioned. Because tomorrow is the festival, everyone's preparing. Wait a moment, I'll go feed the Taurus, and then I'll take you to rest. It was already night. As one of the rangers in the wild area, feeding these wild Pokémon was one of Fuzi's duties. Originally, this was just a normal feeding task. But unexpectedly, an accident suddenly occurred. Just as Fuzi was riding on Ponyta's back, preparing to lead the Taurus to eat, a cold light shone, and the unsuspecting Fuzi was immediately knocked off the horse. Even the little Ponyta was startled by the sudden attack. Tomiko. Are you alright, Pikachu? Seeing Tomiko fall from her horse, Misty rushed over. Misty had a very good impression of this kind-hearted girl. Misty wasn't the only one who ran over. A rare opportunity, Mu Chen certainly wouldn't miss it. Taking advantage of the chance to help Tomiko, Mu Chen naturally took advantage of her. Holy crap. So bouncy. You see, given Mu Chen's height, helping Tomiko couldn't possibly involve supporting her arms. All he could do was offer support from behind. And from behind, Mu Chen certainly wouldn't be foolish enough to support Tomiko's back. Of course, Mu Chen did all this discreetly enough, and being a Pokémon. Neither Tomiko nor Misty noticed this little rascal taking advantage of her. Ponyta. Stop, don't panic. It's okay. Just as Xiaoxia and Mu Chen went to help Fuko up, Xiaozi was also frantically trying to calm the agitated Ponyta. Even so, in trying to soothe Ponyta, Xiaozi's hand was burned again, but he didn't let go. Xiaozi, seeing Xiaozi's genuine love for Pokémon, Fuko was deeply moved. This boy is really something. It's a pity he's too young. How is it? Not bad this time. Just as Xiaozi and the others were busy calming Ponyta, a smug laugh came from a corner in the darkness. Meowth, well done. Well done. Fuko's hand is clearly injured. With that, she's definitely going to lose tomorrow's match. It turned out that the one who attacked Fuko was Team Rocket. Very good. You did a good job. I'm very satisfied. Just as Team Rocket was celebrating their operation, a slightly arrogant voice rang out. Dorf, we have a deal. We'll help you cripple Tomiko, and your winnings are ours. The reason Team Rocket targeted Tomiko was because of Dorf. While tracking Pikachu, Team Rocket happened to arrive at a Tata tribe's village. However, they encountered Dorf instead. After talking with Dorf, they made a deal. Team Rocket would help Dorf cripple Tomiko, and all of Dorf's tournament winnings would go to the trio. Don't worry, I promised you, and I'll do it. Team Rocket had a fearsome reputation. How could Dorf go back on his word? All he wanted was the glory of victory. Then we'll see tomorrow. According to Dorf, the only one in the entire Tata tribe who could threaten his victory was Tomiko. Now that Tomiko's arm was injured, she couldn't participate in the tournament, and Dorf was absolutely confident of winning. Sigh, it seems I really won't be able to participate in tomorrow's competition. What happened in the shadows was naturally unknown to Tomiko and the others. After comforting Panada, Tomiko was filled with helplessness. The competition was about to begin, and she was injured. This was truly bad luck. Tomiko. Let me do it. Let me take your place. Let me go to that competition in your place. Besides his love for battle, Ash was also an incredibly kind and helpful young man. Seeing Tomiko's worried face, Ash took on the responsibility of participating in the competition without hesitation. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170 Speed Race. Ah! It's so hot, so hot. Late at night, Ash's screams echoed outside Fuko's room. Clearly, this guy had gone to great lengths to get Panada to accept him. Fortunately, his efforts paid off. Thanks to Ash's persistent and stubborn efforts, Panada finally accepted him. Of course, it could also be interpreted as Panada finally giving in to Ash's endless harassment. Miss Fuko, don't worry, I'll definitely lead Panada to help you win the competition tomorrow. Having successfully gained Panada's approval, Ash excitedly walked in from outside. Pikachu, what the hell? Did you go to a fire scene? Looking at Ash, who was burned black, Mu Chen was speechless. What was he trying to achieve? Ash, thank you so much. Soon, Mu Chen knew what Ash was after. Of course, this was just his personal interpretation. Ha ha ha. It's nothing, it's just a small favor. Besides, Miss Fuko, you said that as long as you participate in this competition, you can get the qualification to hunt in the wild plains. I don't have a suitable mount anyway. Ash felt very uncomfortable with Miss Fuko jumping up and grabbing his arm to express her gratitude. Thank you is fine, but why rush up here? My arm is already burning hot, and she's grabbing me like that. Pikachu, however, this scene was different in Mu Chen's eyes. Holy crap. This is a master of flirting. Damn, I'll remember this. Mu Chen suddenly realized that his understanding of Ash wasn't deep enough. Ding ding, random mission activated. Data Tribe Festival Competition. Mission requirements, protect Ash to successfully complete the festival competition. Mission reward, randomly increase 5-10 base stats. Failure penalty, you can't even complete such a simple mission, you might as well find a block of tofu and use quick attack on it. What? What the hell? Mu Chen, who was originally considering studying Ash's flirting techniques, was dumbfounded. This is ridiculous. Are you sure you're my system? Why does Ash always make me protect him? Are you some kind of system Ash sent to mess with me? The system's task requirements and difficulty weren't high, it was simply to protect Ash and ensure his safety during the race. But the problem was, Mu Chen really hadn't expected this lousy system to actually make him a babysitter. This is a race, and I have to protect him? How am I supposed to protect him? Am I supposed to run alongside him? The thought of sweating buckets alongside these Pokémon made Mu Chen feel like a million Taurus were stampeding through his mind. You see, Mu Chen originally planned to take advantage of the race to do something in the stands. Just thinking about it, the stands for these kinds of races are bound to be packed. With Pikachu in the stands, wouldn't he be able to do whatever he wanted? Unfortunately, due to the system's wicked task, Mu Chen's grand plan was ruthlessly shattered. Huh? Pikachu, what did you say? You want to participate too? Because Ash was going to participate in place of Tomiko, Misty also enthusiastically chose to participate. As for her mount, it could only be Starmie. Although Starmie wasn't very fast, Misty's goal was simply to participate and gain hunting qualifications in the wild. Unexpectedly, while the group was discussing the competition, Pikachu jumped out. Seeing Pikachu's gestures, Misty, who knew him well, immediately understood what he meant. Clearly, this little guy also wanted to participate in the Pokémon speed race. Ha ha ha. Pikachu, how are you going to participate? With your physique, you probably couldn't even carry a toddler. Hearing Misty's explanation, Ash burst into laughter. How old was Pikachu? If it went to participate, who could it carry? Pikachu, a camel? What the hell? I want to be a rider, okay. Hearing Ash's idiotic question, Mu Chen was so angry he almost rushed up and gave him a shock. Damn it, when did I say I wanted to run? I want to be a rider, to compete with Pokémon just like you guys. Helpless, Mu Chen could only resort to gesturing wildly again. Finally, Pikachu, you mean, you want to be a rider and participate in the competition too? Finally, just when Mu Chen was about to give up, Misty guessed his intention correctly. Pikachu, that's right. She finally guessed it. At this moment, Mu Chen's eyes welled up with tears. Misty really understands me. What? Pikachu, you want to be a rider? Haha, don't joke around. Even if you could, you don't have a suitable Pokémon to ride, because it's a speed competition. Flying-type Pokémon like Pidgeotto are prohibited from participating. Therefore, Ash didn't actually have a suitable mount for Pikachu. If Pikachu wants to participate, I can get Growlithe to help. Fuko, grateful trash, had been looking for a way to repay him, and now that his Pokémon wanted to participate, Fuko immediately became interested. Such a smart Pikachu is truly rare. Ah. Thank you so much. Hearing Fuko's words, Ash immediately turned around and thanked her. The novel experience of participating alongside his starter Pokémon was something Ash was also very interested in. Pika, seeing that the mount issue was settled, Mu Chen breathed a sigh of relief. At least he didn't have to run around like that anymore, right? Mu Chen was very satisfied with this result. In any case, as long as he could safely protect Ash, that idiot, throughout the race, he had accomplished his mission. However, Mu Chen obviously didn't know that this mission wasn't as easy as he had imagined. Meow, are all the traps and stuff set up? We absolutely have to make sure Dorif wins tomorrow. Facing another funding shortage, the trio had no choice but to seek external sources of income. Meow. Don't worry, everything's ready. Dorif will definitely win. Having dealt with Dorif's biggest rival, Tomiko, Meow was brimming with confidence for this mission. As for the mission to capture Pikachu, after Mu Chen's whirlwind attack last time, Musashi was still shaken, which was why they hadn't shown up for so long. That Pikachu was just too ferocious. Chapter 171 The competition begins. Go, Ponyta, Starmie, don't fall behind. Pikachu, after a night's rest, the second day of the competition arrived quickly. This racing competition was a grand event at the Dada Tribe's festival. At this moment, both the spectators and the participants were incredibly excited. Of course, the most excited of them all was Mu Chen. Although he had arrived at the arena and the competition had officially begun, he was still replaying the events of the previous night in his mind. Because Fuzi was accidentally injured, bandaging was necessary. As a loving Pikachu, Mu Chen naturally went to help with the bandaging. Of course, precisely because it was a Pikachu, some accidental contact was inevitable during the bandaging process. At this moment, Mu Chen was still recalling the events of last night. No wonder she's a girl who exercises regularly. As for Misty, who is always so wary of Mu Chen? Just kidding, Mu Chen isn't stupid. Xiaoxia, who is also participating in the competition, had an emergency training session with Starmie that evening. This naturally gave Mu Chen an opportunity to shine. Now, having taken advantage of the situation, Mu Chen was full of energy and fighting spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, the competition has officially begun. Leading the pack are Dorif and his mount Adori. The competition had officially started, and the host's passionate commentary followed. Countless spectators cheered as they watched the dozens of contestants compete. Then, a spectator in the front row, however, had a face full of confusion and bewilderment. Was Pikachu's behavior last night unintentional or deliberate? As the person involved, Fuko was fully aware of Pikachu's actions yesterday. However, because it was a Pokémon, Fuko hadn't thought much of it at the time. But when midnight arrived and everything fell silent, Fuko couldn't fall asleep no matter what. The scene of Pikachu bandaging her wound kept replaying in her mind. Even the spot where Pikachu touched her when she fell off her horse and Pikachu came to help her up. Thinking about it carefully, it seems Pikachu always deliberately rubs against me. Unfortunately, Pikachu is a Pokémon, and this is just a guess for Fuko. Besides, as a girl, Fuko really can't talk about this with anyone. It seems she'll have to ask Misty after the competition. Pika, Mu Chen, of course, had no idea what Fuko was thinking in the audience. At this moment, he was completely in the zone. Holy crap. No wonder men like speed. This feeling of speeding is so exhilarating. At this moment, Mu Chen finally understood why so many people in his previous life liked buying sports cars and that kind of extreme speed. Although he was currently riding a Growlithe, considering the rarity of Pokémon, this was at least a Maybach, right? Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, the contestants have now crossed the first round and entered the mountain track. The initial part of this track is all downhill, which will be a severe test for the Pokémon of these trainers. Just as Mu Chen was still daydreaming, the host's passionate commentary came again. This race is divided into a flat track at the beginning, a mountain track in the middle, a water track, and then a rest section for the Pokémon to eat. After crossing the rest section, there is a final flat straight track for the sprint. Now, most of the trainers have entered the mountain track. Ladies and gentlemen, currently in the lead is still Dorf and his Dodrio. Followed closely by Ash, the trainer who is competing in place of Fuko, and then... What? Such speed. That's Electrode. Wow. I never thought Electrode could be used like this. Just as the host was introducing the race to the audience, a black horse that was shiny black appeared. This was a trainer riding Electrode. Because it was downhill, the trainer simply turned Voltorb into a bowling ball, standing on its back and running. Through rapid rolls, Voltorb quickly overtook the leading Dorf and close behind Ash. Boom, but just then, a deep pit suddenly appeared in front of Voltorb. While Voltorb rolls incredibly fast, turning it around is nearly impossible. Without any surprise, Voltorb fell directly into the pit. If that were all, it would just mean one less dark horse in the race. But the problem is, Voltorb, when in a bad mood, is capable of self-destruction. Boom, falling into the pit, the enraged Voltorb decisively chose to self-destruct to vent its anger. Ha ha ha. The championship is mine. Using Dodrio's speed, Dorf successfully escaped the Voltorb's explosion. But Ash and a large number of trainers behind him all became victims of the explosion. Ha ha ha. Meowth, well done. This trap was set by Team Rocket, their purpose being to help Dorf win. Haha, that's for sure. Don't worry, Dorf is going to win this round. But why is Pikachu participating too? Meow, receiving Jessie's praise, Meowth proudly raised its head. However, Meowth was utterly bewildered that Pikachu was participating as a contestant. Even Meowth, never had the chance to ride a cool Pokémon like Growlithe, yet Pikachu was? Whatever, we're just letting Dorf win this time, let's ignore it. Hearing Meowth mention Pikachu, Jessie shuddered. It's best to stay away from this guy. Although Jessie and James's Pokémon had both successfully evolved, after that traumatic experience, Jessie was genuinely afraid to face this crazy Pikachu. This guy is really good at attacking the enemy's core position. Pikachu, hidden in the shadows, Team Rocket's Mu Chen was naturally unaware. At this moment, he was looking at Ash and Ponyta, who had been stunned by the self-destruction, with a look of melancholy. Is this a case of dying before even starting? No way, for the sake of the mission, get up. Pikachu, gentle electric current, here we go. Chapter 172 Various Unexpected Situations. Let's charge, Ponyta. With a gentle electric shock from Mu Chen, Ash regained his energy. Pikachu, seeing Ash re-enter the race, Mu Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Damn, deciding to participate in this race was definitely the right decision. Mu Chen knew that if he hadn't participated and had stayed in the audience, he would probably have been struggling to find a place to buy some tofu in this situation. This is really unreliable. How could such an accident happen at a festival racing competition? Clearly, Mu Chen still didn't understand that this was due to Team Rocket's actions, which caused this unprecedented incident. Damn it. It's that damn Pikachu again. Jesse, James, should we take action and take this Pikachu down halfway? Meow. Seeing Pikachu ruin its plans with an electric shock, Meowth was extremely indignant. Why should Meowth be stuck here eating dust while Pikachu rides a dog so cool on stage? Meowth felt incredibly unbalanced at that moment. Let's not do that. We can just interfere from the sidelines. Anyway, Dorif is already far ahead, no need to panic. Attacking Pikachu? That suggestion was tempting. However, just thinking about Pikachu's frantic attacks made Jessie instinctively protect her chest. That terrifying experience was best avoided if possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the race has now entered the water track. On this track, there are only two ways to cross the water. Either your Pokémon swim across, or your Pokémon leap across the water by stepping on the rocks. This is a huge test of coordination between all the participants and the Pokémon. We can already see that Dorif, in the first group, has successfully leaped across the water track, closely followed by Ash with his Ponyta, Pikachu, and Growlithe. Oh. What do we see? Here. Such speed. It's Misty with her Starmie. As expected of a water-type Pokémon, it really gives them an advantage on this track. The host's passionate commentary rang out again. Now, the race has entered its second half. After being jolted awake by Pikachu's electric shock, Ash, relying on Ponyta's terrifying speed, once again caught up with Dorif. Ash never knows the meaning of giving up in a race. This guy has an incredibly strong will to win. Damn it. Ponyta's too fast, we can't stop it. Meowth, activate the trap and eliminate all the competitors behind Ponyta. The trio had originally planned to eliminate all the competitors behind Dorif in this trap. However, Ponyta was too fast, and despite their best efforts, they were still a step too late. Just you wait and see. Meowth, receiving Jessie's command, Meowth activated the trap they had previously laid. Boom, a loud explosion suddenly rang out. Splash, immediately, a huge wave of water crashed down on the competitors leaping across the water track. To hinder these competitors, Team Rocket had clearly planted a bomb here beforehand. Due to the nature of the race route, this trap was Team Rocket's last resort. Now it seemed to be working very well. Pikachu, holy crap. Damn it. I'm just a participant, is this never going to end? Mu Chen was speechless at the endless stream of unexpected situations in the race. Why is it so hard to earn some base stats? Ow. Mu Chen was speechless, but Growlithe was panicking. Growlithe is a fire-type Pokémon. With this huge wave crashing in, crossing the river, or even getting hurt, would be a miracle. Starmie. Use Surf. We can't let these Pokémon get hurt. Seeing the giant wave approaching, the kind-hearted Misty decisively abandoned the competition. If this giant wave hit, all the trainers except her would probably be injured. Although Starmie could basically clock out after using Surf, Misty wasn't particularly interested in winning. Compared to this competition where participation was the priority, rescuing the trainers was naturally more important. Upon receiving Misty's command, Starmie's body immediately glowed. Then, a wave no smaller than the one created by the explosion rose up, fiercely meeting the oncoming giant wave head-on. Pikachu, well done. Growlithe, get out of here. Seeing Zioxia so decisively block the giant wave, Mu Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Damn it, I'm not a good swimmer. A hot spring could drown Mu Chen? He had no interest in experiencing the exhilarating feeling of battling giant waves in this great river. Just as Mu Chen, with Zioxia's help, burst out of the water, Dorif, who had been leading the way, reached the final stage, the Pokémon rest area. Here, participating Pokémon had to choose a plate of food. Only after finishing it could they continue the final leg of the race. This section, however, completely stumped Dorif. You see, Dodrio, this magical creature, has 3 brains. 3 brains sharing one body, and ultimately, the 3 brains chose different foods, making a fight inevitable. While Dorif was still trying to calm his Mount Dodrio, Ash, riding Ponyta, caught up. Damn it. Team Rocket. Come help me. Seeing Ash had caught up, Dorif was immediately alarmed. He had prepared so much for this match, and if he still couldn't win, he would truly collapse. Rather than let himself collapse, he'd rather let the enemy collapse. In the end, Dorif chose to call Team Rocket. They were all in the same boat anyway. If he lost, Team Rocket wouldn't benefit. Damn it, that bastard exposed us. Meow. Seeing Dorif directly call for the three of them, Meowth was furious. Didn't we agree to only sabotage from the shadows? Let's go. Only Ash is here. If we defeat him, we might even steal Pikachu's Pokeball. As long as Pikachu wasn't around, Jessie had plenty of fighting courage. Now Arbok had evolved into Arbok, and James's coughing had become wheezing. Now, their strength was greatly increased, and Ash was alone. This was a rare opportunity for Team Rocket. Chapter 173 Team Rocket makes a move. Damn it. Team Rocket? Dorif, you? Ash was taken aback by the sudden appearance of Team Rocket. So, all the previous mishaps were orchestrated by Dorif? HMPH. Team Rocket, this guy is yours. The TV broadcast signal can't get through here, you should know what to do. Having been exposed by Ash, Dorif showed no remorse, instead coldly instructing the trio. This damn bastard, trying to ruin my championship? Don't even think about it. Don't worry, this brat is ours. Hearing Dorif's words, Jessie was overjoyed. The broadcast signal couldn't even get through here? That meant they could do whatever they wanted. This was a golden opportunity. If they defeated Ash, they could easily steal Pikachu's Pokeball. Thinking of that bright future, Jessie's eyes sparkled. Damn it. Team Rocket, you wicked bastards, I won't let you get away with this today. While Team Rocket's appearance surprised Ash, these guys weren't enough to intimidate him. Compared to Kasaburo and Yamato from before, these three were incredibly weak. But just as Ash put his hand on his waist to summon his Pokémon, he was embarrassed. Because of the race, Ash had left his Melodic and two other Pokémon at the Dada Tribe's Pokémon Center before the competition. This meant that besides Fuko's Ponyta, he currently had no Pokémon to battle with. Ha ha ha. Kid, you're doomed today. If you know what's good for you, throw Pikachu's Pokeball over here, or we won't be polite. Seeing Ash's efforts go awry, Jessie and the others immediately understood the situation. Through their connection with Dorif, Jessie and the others knew the Dada tribe very well. It's important to know that the Tadashi Pokémon Center has special methods for caring for Pokémon. Generally, many old injuries and hidden problems in Pokémon are healed after their care. It was precisely because of this that Jessie and the others were certain Ash wouldn't let this opportunity pass. And now, they were right. That kid only had a few empty Pokeballs left. Damn it. Ponyta, battle? Unable to summon his own Pokémon, Ash could only command Ponyta to fight. Surrender without a fight? That was never Ash's style. Heave-ho, thanks to Ash's tireless efforts last night, Ponyta's bond with him had greatly increased, and now it didn't resist Ash's commands at all. After letting out a cry, flames suddenly blazed around it. Then, Ponyta charged madly towards Team Rocket. Arbok, come out. Use Leer, Wheezing, use poison gas. After evolving, Arbok and Wheezing's combat power had obviously increased significantly. Chabaku, the first to act was Jessie's Arbok. With a sharp cry, it instantly stood upright, its neck wide open, revealing a terrifying snake-like face before the charging Ponyta. This was Arbok's evolved form, Glare. While this move didn't have direct offensive capabilities, it could intimidate opponents, causing them to retreat or even become paralyzed. Hey, caught off guard by this sudden intimidation, Ponyta, who had never experienced it before, was immediately hit. Ponyta, startled, Ponyta reared up, throwing Ash off its back. But that wasn't all. Just as Ponyta was intimidated and retreating, Wheezing's attack followed. Wheezing also lacked direct damage, but it could poison opponents, causing them to rapidly lose stamina, a truly insidious move. The Ponyta, terrified, had no chance to dodge, and the poison gas instantly entered its body. Ha ha ha. Kid, let's see what you do now. Seeing the Ponyta turn black instantly after the poison gas entered its body, Jessie and Kojiro let out a wild laugh. Unexpectedly, their plan to pull off a small heist for a little money had yielded such an unexpected surprise. Pikachu, just as the indomitable Ash picked up a rock, preparing to take matters into his own hands, and just as Jessie and Kojiro excitedly prepared to command their Pokémon to attack Ash, a loud cry suddenly came from behind. It was Mu Chen, riding his Growlithe at breakneck speed. Having escaped the water, Mu Chen thought the mission was basically safe, but unexpectedly, just as he was about to reach the repair section, he heard the sounds of Pokémon fighting. What else could be said? Upon hearing this, Mu Chen immediately knew that Ash must be in trouble again. After giving Growlithe a good slap on the butt, Mu Chen, who had been rushing, finally arrived just in time for the crucial moment. Pikachu. Great. Haha, Team Rocket, let's see where you can run now. Ash was overjoyed to see Pikachu arrive. With Pikachu here, plus its Mount Growlithe, how could those three from Team Rocket possibly stand a chance? Damn it. It's that annoying yellow rat again. Meowth, you go and grab the Pokeball, we'll take this guy. Just when the Pokeball was about to be in their hands, Pikachu came to ruin the plans again. Jessie was furious. In her anger, Jessie forgot her previous fear of Pikachu. At this moment, Jessie only wanted to subdue this annoying yellow rat and let it experience the pleasure of whipping it. Pika, damn it. It's those guys again? Don't they have any memory? Similarly, Mu Chen was also stunned to see Team Rocket again. So all these mishaps along the way were caused by these three guys? Looks like my storm-like attack last time wasn't powerful enough. Having discovered the mastermind, Mu Chen didn't hesitate for a second. How many times had he electrocuted these three trash? Since they had no shame, he wouldn't hold back. With a wave of his short arms, Mu Chen directed Growlithe to help Ash. Looking at the two Arbok and Weezing charging at him, Mu Chen revealed a cruel smile. Just two pieces of trash. Damn, I have to say, I admire your courage. After being taught a lesson by me so many times, you still have no shame? Chapter 174 Loot. Don't run. Arbok, use Leer, coughing, use poison gas. Musashi and Kojiro had previously used this combination to successfully outmaneuver Ponyta. Having tasted success, the two tried the same tactic again against their old rival, Pikachu. Chibako, a sharp cry rang out, and Arbok's neck, covered in terrifying snake patterns, opened wide once more. Pika, what the hell? Are you trying to put on a performance art show with me? Ponyta might be intimidated by Arbok's move, but Mu Chen wouldn't. What the hell is this? I graduated from Xiamen University in my past life. With these skills, who are you trying to fool? No questions asked, Thunderbolt, here we go. Zzz. With a surge of electricity, a 4-finger-thick 100,000-volt current instantly condensed on Mu Chen's cheeks, shooting towards the still-posing Arbok. Chibako, as expected, the previously confident Arbok once again performed the Indian snake dance for Mu Chen. Weevil, just then, the attack of Weevil came. Pika, although Mu Chen didn't know what this black smoke was, he had absolutely no interest in testing it himself. With a high-speed movement boost, Mu Chen dodged the attack of the poison gas with extremely graceful movements. What? How is this possible? Damn it. Weevil, use Black Mist. Seeing that the previously invincible tactics were completely useless against Pikachu, Jessie and Kojiro panicked. This Pikachu seems to be even stronger than before? Watch me scratch wildly. Meow. Just as Jessie and Kojiro were astonished by Pikachu's increased strength, Meowth launched its attack on Ash. Its claws, radiating a cold light, were already lit up, and a cruel smile appeared on Meowth's face. Meowth is no match for Pikachu, but against you, little brat, it'll be a piece of cake. Awoo. Just as Meowth was feeling smug, thinking it could easily defeat Ash, a loud roar suddenly came from behind it. What the hell? Meow. Attracted by the roar, Meowth instinctively turned its head. In its pupils, a huge dog face was gradually enlarging. Wow. Jessie. James. Come save me. Meow. Before Meowth could react, Growlithe delivered a vicious bite. Bitten by Growlithe, Meowth couldn't even manage to escape, let alone attack. Ponyta. Hang in there, it's alright. With his safety completely assured, Ash focused his attention on the injured Ponyta. Although the little guy didn't suffer any external injuries, its stamina was steadily draining after being poisoned by the coughing gas. Hey, reassured by Ash, Ponyta slightly raised its head in response. Then, its stamina dwindling, Ponyta lowered its neck again, staring ahead. Clearly, Ponyta wasn't willing to accept defeat in this race. Ponyta, hang in there. For Tomiko's sake, you have to get back up. Ash frantically pulled out an antidote, constantly encouraging Ponyta. Ponyta wasn't the only one unwilling to accept defeat. Faced with such a despicable opponent, Ash's only option was to defeat him head-on. You wretched yellow-skinned rat, you just wait, we'll be back. Just as Ash was encouraging Ponyta, on the other side, using the black mist from Weezing as cover, Jessie and James once again opted for a tactical retreat. Putting away their still swaying Arbok, kicking Growlithe away, Jessie and the other two ran off without looking back. Pikachu, Pikachu, but Mu Chen clearly didn't intend to let them leave so easily. Stop. Where do you think you're going? Leave a souvenir. This was what Mu Chen cared about most. These Team Rocket guys were too cunning. Their combat strength was so-so, but their escape abilities were all maxed out. Chasing them would be extremely difficult, so Mu Chen gave up on the idea of keeping them. However, they'd come all this way and caused me so much trouble, and they're just going to leave without leaving anything behind? No way. You see, Mu Chen had been incredibly curious about the color of Jessie's souvenir before, so how could he give up so easily now? Damn it. Meowth, quickly block Pikachu, because the double gas black mist was released too hastily. Everyone still had about half a meter of visibility within the black mist. Upon noticing a golden figure rapidly approaching, Jessie panicked. Could it be? This Pikachu is going to make me face another gale? Thinking of that terrifying possibility, Jessie quickened her pace. However, Mu Chen's target was Musashi, and how could he possibly let this woman escape from his sight? Pikachu, stop right there. You're not leaving without leaving a souvenir. Seeing that Musashi was speeding up her escape, Mu Chen became even more furious. Zzz, a burst of electricity appeared. In order to stop Musashi, Mu Chen decisively released the fastest electromagnetic wave. As for the Meowth that had already pounced on him, that piece of trash was instantly thrown out of sight with a flash of lightning. Ah! Kajero, help me! Hit precisely by the electromagnetic wave, Musashi felt waves of numbness wash over her. Clearly, she could no longer escape quickly. Coughing, come out. Use self-destruct. In this crisis, Kajero didn't care about anything else and immediately summoned Coughing. Coughing, upon receiving Kajero's command, Coughing immediately emitted bursts of red light. Pikachu, damn it. I wasn't trying to catch you guys. Did you have to go to such lengths? Seeing the double-barreled Katsu in this state, how could Mu Chen not guess what it was up to? Damn it, getting hit by this thing would be really unpleasant. Time was of the essence, and to keep the spoils, Mu Chen activated Quick Attack again. Ah! You wretched yellow-skinned rat, get out of my way! Suddenly attacked by Pikachu, Musashi instinctively lunged at her chest. This wretched yellow-skinned rat, I absolutely won't let you succeed again. Although she wasn't sure if Pikachu's attack on her last time was intentional, Musashi didn't want to test her own judgment. Unfortunately, this time Musashi was wrong. Mu Chen's target wasn't her front. Pikachu, stay here. Using the dim light, Mu Chen firmly locked onto Musashi's back and delivered a thunderous blow to her collar. Chapter 175 Loot. Heave ho, just as Mu Chen was chasing Team Rocket, Ponyta stood up again. With the help of Ash's antidote, Ponyta finally escaped the toxin's attack on its body. In fact, driven by intense unwillingness and a fierce desire to win, Ponyta emitted bursts of light after standing. When the light faded, a magnificent, towering horse appeared beside Ash. This was Ponyta's evolved form, Rapidash. Ha ha ha. Great. Rapidash, let's go, let's win the championship. Ash was naturally the most excited at this moment. Although Rapidash wasn't his Pokémon, his love for Pokémon meant that every Pokémon's evolution filled him with genuine joy. Heave ho, as Ash mounted Rapidash again, a fiery red figure instantly traversed the rest area where the television signal couldn't be transmitted. Pikachu, my mission is complete now, right? Watching Ash gallop away on Rapidash, Mu Chen immediately felt relieved. If Ash still needed his protection, he might as well have just fallen off and died. Ignoring Ash galloping past, and even ignoring the Growlithe waiting behind him to rejoin the race, Mu Chen gripped his prize and took a deep breath. This is what I wanted. He just hadn't expected that Jessie, with her rugged appearance, would only wear such a plain white outfit. This was truly. Previously, Yamato's outfit was pink, and Mu Chen thought that given Jessie's personality, she would at least wear something red, yellow, or blue, but it turned out to be just the most common white. However, although the color didn't satisfy Mu Chen, the size, the temperature, the scent, at this moment, Mu Chen was completely captivated. Meanwhile, Ash, riding Rapidash, had reached the final straight sprint. Dorif was not far ahead of Ash. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion of this tournament should be Dorif. What's that fiery red figure? Such speed, only Dorif was on the straight-line sprint track. Just as the host was about to announce his victory prematurely, Ash's figure reappeared on the broadcast channel. Looking at that incredibly handsome fiery red figure, everyone, including the host, was stunned. This actually evolved? What? How is this possible? Those useless Team Rocket guys, of course. The most shocked person at this moment was Dorif himself. Victory was already in sight, but who would have thought that a fierce running sound would come from behind? Turning around, Dorif almost fell off Dodrio's back. Those three guys from Team Rocket not only failed to stop him, but also helped him evolve Panada? Unfortunately, the facts were right in front of him, and even if Dorif couldn't believe it, he could only face it. Dodrio, attack. Don't let him overtake. Dodrio, with its three heads, was supposed to use one to attack Rapidash and hinder its charge. But a flash of light, and Dodrio couldn't even reach its tail. Let's congratulate the winner. It's Ash from Pallet Town, and his mount is none other than Tom's Panada, now Rapidash. In the end, Ash, riding Rapidash, won the race with an almost overwhelming force. With the host's passionate commentary, Ash and the Tada clan audience celebrated. Pikachu, similarly, our protagonist, Mu Chen, was also celebrating. He was riding on Growlithe's back, still clutching his prize tightly, looking utterly ecstatic. Damn, it smells so good. You see, Mu Chen had previously thought that Jessie, with her constant exercise, would be covered in sweat. Unexpectedly, even the sweat on her spoil smelled sweet. She was indeed a beautiful young lady, completely on a different level from that rough old man, Ash. However, the overly engrossed Mu Chen clearly overlooked Xiaoxia, who was rushing up behind him. After blocking the giant wave, Starmie was severely weakened, and Xiaoxia was essentially out of the competition. But even in defeat, she should at least finish the race, right? Rushing along, Xiaoxia finally arrived near the finish line just as Ash was celebrating his victory. But unexpectedly, Pikachu's golden figure appeared before her. Seeing Pikachu riding on Growlithe's back, its shoulders trembling, Xiaoxia immediately tensed up. What's wrong with this little thing? Why is it trembling? Is it uncomfortable? Or injured? Rushing along, Xiaoxia naturally noticed the traces of a battle that had broken out at the rest area. Upon discovering that a battle had occurred there, Xiaoxia became even more anxious. That's why Xiaoxia was so nervous seeing Pikachu's trembling back. But when Xiaoxia quickly caught up and arrived in front of Pikachu, Pikachu! You bastard! Die! Seeing Pikachu clutching a woman's protective apron with a blissful expression, even occasionally taking a deep sniff, Xiaoxia exploded. This wretched bastard! Where did it get this thing? The time in Yamato could be explained as an accident. Xiaoxia didn't believe a Pokémon would understand something even Ash didn't. But this scene before her eyes proved it perfectly. This bastard, this damned bastard. It really understands what this thing is. In her shame and anger, Xiaoxia didn't care that they were almost at the finish line, nor did she care about Tomiko who was approaching them. In a flash of anger and embarrassment, Xiaoxia launched herself into action, delivering a remarkably graceful spinning kick that sent the still absorbed Pikachu flying beneath the dogs. Pikachu, holy crap! What's going on? Suddenly kicked away, Mu Chen was completely dumbfounded. Who the hell attacked me? Has Team Rocket returned? Xiaoxia, why did you attack Pikachu? Pikachu landed right where Fuko was running towards them. When Fuko saw the prize in Pikachu's hand, she finally understood. Everything that happened last night was definitely intentional on Pikachu's part. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.